to a minimum of 90 days in response to several complaints from residents about homes being used for short-term and nightly rentals. Quad Cities farm equipment giant John Deere says it no longer will sponsor social or cultural awareness events, making the ag machinery manufacturer one of the latest U.S. companies to distance itself from DEI and some LGBTQ measures. Chicago Fire pulled off an upset with a 1-0 victory over FC Cincinnati last night. White Sox designate infielder Danny Mendick for assignment and send Lena Sosa to AAA in corresponding moves. Sox will be back in action against the Royals after the All-Star break tomorrow. Cubs will start the second half of the season just 3.5 out of the NL wildcard spot, and they'll take on Arizona. Brian Harman will be looking to defend his crown when the British Open tees off from Royal Troon in Scotland. It's a good play to back Scotty Scheffler or Rory McIlroy, but I've got Colin Morikawa in my pool, and don't look past Phil Mickelson or former Troon winner Henrik Stenson as a rematch of their epic 2016 Open. The news, a service of Turnkey.pro. They'll fully protect your network with up-to-date cyber protection, unlimited backup, unlimited 24/7 help desk support, and real-time threat hunting. Protect your small business today. Visit Turnkey.pro. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka says we have to put in the work.
They can't win this fair and square. I mean, they have to cheat so bigly. And what has President Trump said? Too big to rig. If we make sure that we are there, when the ballots are counted by our side as well as theirs, that's how we win.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Building owners, property managers, and chief engineers. This one's for you.
Hello, this is Bruce Diedrich with Waukegan Roofing, your professional roofer. Everything starts on top. Your investment, your building, and everything in it is protected by your roof. It needs to be in good shape. That's where we can help. If it needs to be repaired or replaced, or you think it might, call us. Let's find out. Here's the number.
847-623-1625.
At Waukegan Roofing, our employees are union-trained roofing professionals with OSHA safety training certifications and have thorough knowledge and expertise regarding the various roofing systems we sell, maintain, and install. We know commercial roofing systems because that's all we do. Over 110 years of doing commercial roofs. Waukegan Roofing has the slogan,
Roofs you can rely on.
because you can. Here's the number to call.
847-623-1625.
And get the info at waukeganroofing.com. waukeganroofing.com.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
512. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Blindster.com. They've sold millions of custom blind shades and shutters and received over 100,000 five-star reviews. Save big at Blindster.com. Tri-State. Accident left lane block northbound approaching the Kelsag Bridge, and I-55 near Shanahan still remains shut down. ComEd hoping to clear the power lines and reopen that major roadway between in this early morning. Keep our eyes on that for you. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast with Steve Williams.
Mostly sunny, breezy, beautiful day. High today at 75. Clear skies for tonight and a low 59. Sunny and pleasant tomorrow, the high 82. And then partly sunny on Saturday, the high Saturday 83. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
67 at O'Hare, 68 Midway, 58 in Aurora, 59 in Morris. Your next news update, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer starts next on AM 560, The Answer.
I knew there had to be a better way to get relief from joint pain aside from surgery and harmful medications.
That's football legend and dancing champ Emmitt Smith, who knows a thing or two about joint pain.
Turns out I was right. It's called QC Kinetics, and now tens of thousands of patients and counting all across the country, they're feeling amazing. They say, hey, Emmitt, you were right.
QC Kinetics zeroed in on a technology that is revolutionizing pain treatment. They are transforming patients' lives. The largest provider of non-surgical regenerative treatments using natural healing properties to help restore and repair aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs. Call them today for your free consultation.
QC Kinetics. I knew there had to be a better way. I love it when I'm right.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combines heritage and innovation in every cup. Our coffee is locally roasted, hot air roasted, and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Whether you prefer a 12-ounce bag or a 28-ounce bag, or even the convenience of K-Cups, you'll find Papa Nicholas Coffee at your local retailer. Taste the difference that 5 generations of expertise brings. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee, because great coffee is our family tradition. Visit online at papanicholas.com. That's papanicholas.com.
Honey, what are we going to do with your grandparents' old coins and jewelry?
I'm pretty sure they're worth some money.
You've been saying that for years.
Okay, how about PGS Gold and Coin? They're the best when it comes to selling family valuables.
And you know this because...
PGS. When it comes to your valuables, they're the best.
Do that again.
PGS. When it comes to your valuables, they're the best.
Isn't that the place Jeff sold his grandmother's jewelry when she passed?
Yep. He checked out pgsgoldandcoin.com and found tons of positive reviews. He was blown away by how much he got. Do you? Oh, you're already on the site.
Almost. pgsgoldandcoin.com.
PGS Gold and Coin, the upscale way of selling your coins, jewelry, diamonds, and collectibles. Family owned and operated for over 14 years. Rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau, now with 4 Chicagoland locations. And they make house calls. 888-416-2701 or pgsgoldandcoin.com.
PGS. When it comes to your valuables, they're the best.
Suburban Welding and Steel is your local welding, fabricating, and repair shop where service and quality is number one. Their dedicated team of experts can repair a job on site or in their shop located in Franklin Park. They have the machinery needed to get your project completed with the craftsmanship and precision so you can get back to business. Suburban Welding and Steel services more than just the manufacturing industry. They also service the food industry, heavy equipment, trucking, airports, and railroads. Walk-ins are also welcome, so if you need it welded, repaired, fabricated, or modified, Suburban Welding and Steel will do the laser cutting, machining, forming, and plate rolling for you. Or they have the materials you need in stock and ready for the purchase. And if you know a hardworking person looking for a career in the trade, Suburban Welding and Steel is looking to add to their team of experts. Visit suburbanweldingandsteel.com to see the full story on what they can do for you. SuburbanWeldingandSteel.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Hi, I'm Donna, and I love taking Balance of Nature. It makes me feel sparkly every single day. It's just an amazing product.
I'm Rick. I'm in the best shape of my life. I play a lot of golf. I work out and ride my bike. I'm 63 and I can still almost hit a golf ball 300 yards. I mean, when I'm in the gym, I can do 90-pound dumbbells. That's what I did when I was young. As long as I'm living, I'll keep taking my Balance of Nature.
Time's ticking on your summer savings. Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Don't miss out. This week's your last chance to claim this offer. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel. Home to the biggest shows on TV, like Sebastian Gorka, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, followed by Stacey Washington at 5. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free now on Zumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Zumo.
I'm Shalom Klein. Join me each week for the Get Down to Business radio show. This show is packed with ideas that will inspire as you search for best practices to grow your business. Whether you are an experienced entrepreneur or just learning the ropes, Get Down to Business will tackle the issues affecting your everyday work life.
Get Down to Business is covered by Tom Mirabali, independent producer for Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois.
Listen each week to Get Down to Business with me, Shalom Klein. Heard Sunday afternoons at 6 right here on AM 560.
An informed and educated citizenry is the only guarantee to preserve our constitutional republic. And each week, you'll hear from experts, not pundits, and find out what's really happening, from local issues to national politics. Listen to The Real Story with Jeannie Ives. There's no topic of public policy concern that she won't talk about. Stop the lies. Learn the truth. Join the conversation tonight at 7, right here on AM 560. The Answer.
As everyone can tell, we're living in turbulent times. During times of uncertainty like World War II and 9/11, people have often turned to God. In times like these, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville, Illinois reminds all Americans of the ancient promise found in 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. This is not a political statement. It's a call to all God-fearing Americans to do as God's word instructs. America needs healing now. Whether you're for the guy on the left or the right or neither, everyone needs to heed the word of God as 2 Chronicles instructs us. May God bless all our leaders and God bless the USA. This message is brought to you by Fox Valley Coins on Route 59, Naperville, Illinois.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So day 3 of the RNC, and of course the featured attraction was the introduction of President Trump's running mate, that would be Vice President in waiting J.D. Vance, introduced by his lovely wife, Usha, who is, by the way, an accomplished attorney in her own right.
Yeah, she clerked for Justice Roberts.
Among other things, yes. Here was her introduction. Now, the reporting, too, by the way, on this, if you haven't heard sort of the backstory, she wasn't necessarily enthusiastic about them taking this adventure. So, but nonetheless, if that is true, which I think it is, that she was a little reticent to be excited about this, like, maybe we shouldn't do this. But anyway, she did it, and she not only did it, she did it on a national stage in full blossom.
A working class guy who had overcome childhood traumas that I could barely fathom to end up at Yale Law School. A tough Marine who had served in Iraq, but whose idea of a good time was playing with puppies and watching the movie Babe. The most determined person I knew with one overriding ambition: to become a husband and a father, and to build the kind of tight-knit family that he had longed for as a child. My background is very different from JD's. I grew up in San Diego, in a middle-class community.
San Diego.
In Wales.
With 2 loving parents, both immigrants from India, and a wonderful sister. That JD and I could meet at all, let alone fall in love and marry, is a testament to this great country.
It's another Yale Law Library story.
I saw it.
It is also a testament to JD, and it tells you something about who he is. When JD met me, he approached our differences with curiosity and enthusiasm. He wanted to know everything about me, where I came from, what my life had been like.
He was vetting.
Although he's a meat and potatoes kind of guy, he adapted to my vegetarian diet and learned to cook food from my mother, Indian food. Before I knew it, he had become an integral part of my family, a person I could not imagine living without. The JD I knew then is the same JD you see today, except for that beard. And
I think she likes the beard.
And his goals in this new role are the same that he has pursued for our family: to keep people safe, to create opportunities, to build a better life, and to solve problems with an open mind. It's safe to say that neither JD nor I expected to find ourselves in this position, but it's hard to imagine a more powerful example of the American dream. A boy from Middletown, Ohio.
A boy from Middletown, Ohio, meets a girl at in a Yale Law Library from India. He was very curious about me. Where is this India you speak of? I'm just a hillbilly from Appalachia.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. I thought
his first line was, "You mean Indiana?" No, JD, India.
No, I think it was a beautiful story. And I mean, I was just enthralled at his speech because
Really?
he reminded me of Obama. It was inspiring. It was something fresh and new. He's young. He's a father of 3. He has a great story to tell. Why are you looking at me like you're shocked?
He reminded you of Obama.
Yeah, he did. Just from the inspiration level, with a great backstory and overcoming the odds. I mean, his story is a little more inspiring, but we saw it all on the silver screen. I mean, who didn't see Hillbilly Elegy?
Yeah.
Or read the book.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Please, I hope somebody has better comparisons than to Obama. Mama, excuse me, I want to use the proper vernacular.
Mama died right before he went to Iraq. But his mother was there.
Yeah.
Mom was a grandma.
Yeah, Mama, Glenn Close, Amy Adams there. But it would have been better if Glenn Close had played his mom, because then you could have had the Field of Dreams moment where Mom was recognized, and then she stood up, and then like the sunlight came on, and then I mean the natural moment, not Field of Dreams, the natural moment, and then but anyway. I was just thinking movies while I was watching this, but it was a very nice moment when he recognized his mom and all that she's overcome, and it was it sort of closed the circle on the personal story.
And it's about, our movement is about single moms like mine who struggled with money and addiction but never gave up. And I'm proud to say that tonight my mom is here, 10 years clean and sober. I love you, Mom.
JD's mom. That was cool. That was fun.
I thought 10 years sober, that's a huge accomplishment. And the fact, if you see the movie or read the book, I didn't think she'd live to see this day. And the fact that she was there and she was sober, and she didn't have an Oprah makeover. I mean, she is how she is. She's, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't dress her up or get her hair done fancy. Like, she was just herself. What? People.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying that helped me fall in love again with the whole J.D. Vance story.
Yeah, she showed up in overalls like she just walked off the set of Hee Haw. No, she was, dressed for the occasion.
Right, but they didn't.
Their hair was combed.
Her hair kind of looked like yours, Dan.
Well, I mean, it's a timeless styling. So, sure. All right. Now, I guess we get to the principle a bit here. It was interesting, the approach that he took. I like this. I mean, he's a smart guy. I don't know that he's the most dynamic speaker, And
He'll get there.
but okay, Amy was terribly inspired, so that's good. That's good. But I like this formulation. The one formulation in his 20-minute speech, which I thought was rather flat, actually. That's me. Okay. Was that America is an idea, which you often hear, but it's not just an idea. It's an idea, but it's not just an idea. And obviously, you've got the story of his wife and her family from India and him from Appalachia, and it is a beautiful American story. But he reminded us that we're a nation, too. We're a physical nation. And so there are rules to become part of this national tapestry.
You know, one of the things that you hear people say sometimes is that America is an idea. And to be clear, America was indeed founded on brilliant ideas like the rule of law and religious liberty, things written into the fabric of our Constitution and our nation. But America is not just an idea. It is a group of people with a shared history and a common future. It is, in short, a nation. Now, it is part of that tradition, of course, that we welcome newcomers. But when we allow newcomers into our American family, we allow them on our terms. That's the way we preserve the continuity of this project from 250 years past to hopefully 250 years in the future.
All right, when we come back, we'll hear about the cemetery plot in eastern Kentucky and more highlights from day 3 of the RNC at 5:38.
And Trump's granddaughter just stole the show yesterday. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
62 degrees at 5:30 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance is accepting the GOP nomination for vice president.
And I'm overwhelmed with gratitude to say I officially accept your nomination to be vice president of the United States of America.
In his address to the Republican National Convention, Vance praised his running mate Donald Trump, saying Trump has given everything he has to fight for the country. Vance made the case as well as to why Republicans need to take the White House, arguing America needs a party committed to free speech and an open exchange of new ideas. This man, a delegate from Alaska, John, says Vance connected with ordinary Americans.
Come from a working class background. He's from the heartland of America. He's just fantastic. He's pulled himself up by his bootstraps.
Former Trump advisor Peter Navarro, fresh out of prison, throwing his backing behind Donald Trump. Navarro appeared on stage at the RNC just hours after his prison release.
I got a very simple message for you. If they can come for me, and if they can come for Donald Trump, be careful, they will come for you.
Tonight is the last night of the RNC. It's going to be all about Donald Trump. President Biden has tested positive for COVID-19. The White House says Biden tested positive following an event in Las Vegas and is hunkered down in Delaware. New York under a state of emergency after tornadoes and strong storms swept across that state. New Jersey Democrat Senator Bob Menendez now telling allies he will resign after being found guilty in his federal corruption trial. Menendez made the decision following the verdict Wednesday. Co-founder of the Orlando Magic has passed away. The NBA team posting news announcing the death of Pat Williams, who helped bring that NBA team to the Florida City in 1986. Team chairman Dan DeVos and CEO Alex Martins saying in a statement, Pat Williams forever changed the sports landscape of Orlando. In 2012, he was honored by being inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Pat Williams was 84. ComEd and State Police providing an update this morning on I-55 near Shanahan. I-55 has just been reopened, according to State Police. Northbound and southbound, overnight traffic was still being diverted off River Road was southbound being diverted off at US 6, and ComEd saying they've been working overtime to make sure the roadway was reopened.
Right here where we're standing now, the job is to make sure that we safely remove the infrastructure that's blocking I-55. It's a very involved process.
So it is open, according to Illinois State Police, both north and southbound I-55. As of this morning, about 23,000 ComEd customers are without power. Chicago City workers are scrubbing a homeless encampment from an area near the Dan Ryan ahead of next month's Democrat National Convention. Survivors and relatives of victims of the Highland Park July 4th parade shooting are suing the Illinois State Police. A lawsuit accuses the state police of negligence for allowing the shooting suspect, Robert Cremo III, to obtain a gun. Chicago Fire a 1-0 win over FC Cincinnati. They take on Inter Miami on Saturday. Brian Harman looking to defend his crown when the British Open tees off from Royal Troon in Scotland. 5:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Brandon Tatum doesn't understand the movement.
I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of us giving special treatment to stupid stuff. Oh, look, Sally is bisexual. No, you're not. You're just a freak. You know, it's just crazy to me. You get a whole month because you like Tony. Nobody know what you and Tony doing. Who cares? I don't get it.
The Officer Tatum Show, weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
Don, can you read this email for me?
Of course. Jeez, I wish they could do something for your eyesight.
Me too. But you heard what they said. There's nothing we can do.
When vision loss can't be corrected with glasses or surgery, and hope seems lost, turn to Spectrios Institute for Low Vision. Spectrios doctors specialize in the treatment of vision loss related to eye diseases, such as macular degeneration, glaucoma, and diabetic retinopathy. There is hope, supported by science with personalized rehabilitation plans, occupational therapies, and access technology at Spectrios. Talk to a patient service manager. They'll walk you through the program. Spectrios takes BCBS and Medicare insurance. They also have grants for qualifying patients and offer a Seeing is Believing children's outreach program. Go to spectrios.org, located in Wheaton in a building that says it all, the House of Hope. That's SPECTRIOS.org. Spectrios Institute, the head, heart, and eyes approach to better vision. Remember to keep Spectrios Institute a 501c in your estate or legacy planning.
It is no coincidence that our present troubles parallel and are proportionate to the intervention and intrusion in our lives that result from unnecessary and excessive growth of government. It is time for us to realize that we're too great a nation to limit ourselves to small dreams. We're not, as some would have us believe, doomed to an inevitable decline. I do not believe in a fate that will fall on us no matter what we do. I do believe in a fate that will fall on us if we do nothing. So with all the creative energy at our command, let us begin an era of national renewal. Let us renew our determination, our courage, and our strength. And let us renew our faith and our hope.
This moment in American history has been brought to you by Earthworks. To learn more today, visit them at earthworksinc.com.
Lock 'em up with Windy City Safes.
A home is burglarized every 15 seconds in the United States. What are you doing to keep your most prized possessions safe? Windy City Safes is Chicagoland's only Liberty Safe dealer. When it comes to protecting your valuables, you want the best of the best. That's why Liberty Safes are proud to say that all Liberty Safes are made in the USA with a transferable lifetime warranty. With Liberty Safes, you're not just getting a safe, you're getting peace of mind. Discover the best of the best in safe manufacturing with Liberty, America's #1 producer of heavy-duty home and gun safes. Well over 100 safes in stock for immediate pickup or delivery. Windy City Safes is proud to offer military and first responder discounts. Come visit our showroom in Niles or call 224-LOCKBOX. That's 224-LOCKBOX. Or online at WindyCitySafes.com. That's WindyCitySafes.com.
Lock 'em up with Windy City Safes.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
5:38, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Quick Delivery Service. Visit quickdelivery.com when you need same-day delivery of your routes, ground delivery when you need it from safe, licensed professionals. Go to quickdelivery.com now to schedule your delivery. Tri-State accident, left lane blocked northbound on 294 as you approach the Calsag Bridge. And I-55 completely reopened now in Will County near Shanahan, southbound and northbound, open to traffic. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now, your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Mostly sunny, breezy, and pleasant. High 75. Clear, beautiful overnight, low 59. Currently, partly cloudy and 62 at O'Hare, 66 at Midway, 56 in Aurora, 65 Lakefront. Lake Michigan water temperature 72. Your next news update is at 6, and Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy talking about day 3 of the RNC. And, of course, the big question is, did J.D. Vance meet the moment? Amy thought it was like a 2004 Barack Obama coming out party.
It was. And I thought, I think he delivered beautifully. You think that his communication style is a little different?
Well, it's
he just had a casual approach to his greatness.
Yeah, he's conversational, and that's fine. I just, not everybody is good at the soaring rhetoric. I thought it's a tough spot. I just thought it was sort of flat. I thought, the America is an idea, but it's more than an idea that we were getting to before the break. I thought was nice construction. The room felt like it was a little flat for him, though, too. So, and it's, and it's a cavernous type of environment and so forth. I don't know. You just didn't.
It didn't electrify you, send chills up your spine?
Well, it tingles up my leg and so forth. It just didn't exude the sort of pageantry and electricity of a convention, and particularly when you're elevated to the vice presidential nominee as essentially the guy who is going to receive the baton from Trump in 4 years.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line.
But, perhaps the best part of the speech leading off of the America's an idea, but it's more than an idea. We're also a nation. We're a concrete thing. We're a nation of peoples. And there are certainly certain rules of the game with respect to joining this nation of people. The cemetery plot in eastern Kentucky, that's all he came with. That's all he told Usha. I got $120,000 in student loan debt and a cemetery plot in eastern Kentucky. Should have done a little bit more twanging there. Guess that Yale knocked that out of him. Anyway, this foray.
People who were born around the time of the Civil War. And if, as I hope, my wife and I are eventually laid to rest there, and our kids follow us, there will be 7 generations just in that small mountain cemetery plot in eastern Kentucky. 7 generations of people who have fought for this country, who have built this country, who have made things in this country, and who would fight and die to protect this country if they were asked to. Now that's not just an idea, my friends. That's not just a set of principles. Even though the ideas and the principles are great, that is a homeland. That is our homeland. People will not fight for abstractions, but they will fight for their home. And if this movement of ours is going to succeed, and if this country is going to thrive, our leaders have to remember that America is a nation and its citizens deserve leaders who put its interests first.
See, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, there were some good lines there. By the way, a nation will, people will fight for their homes, except in Illinois. He should have said except in Illinois, we don't care. But yes, he's right. But there's some good lines there, and it just felt like golf applause.
Really?
Didn't it? Did you hear people throwing
I heard the
themselves?
whole thing, and I had a completely different take on it. I thought it was electrifying.
What did you hear from the audience when he delivered those lines? You just heard?
It was kind of room temperature.
Nice putt.
Nice putt.
That's what it was. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Michael, Southside.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. Thank you both for taking my call.
Morning.
To be honest, I've got some grave concerns about the idea of J.D. Vance being a heartbeat away from the presidency with less than 2 years experience in the Senate. That said, he and his wife came across very well last night. They came across as sincere. They came across as very likable and patriotic. So I think that J.D. Vance will be a formidable force during the campaign.
Thanks for the call, Michael. Look, I agree. They're both smart. The attractive young couple.
Like Obama. Obama didn't have much. He was in the Senate for 2 years before?
Well, 4, but yeah,
4.
But he never had a job. I mean, at least J.D. Vance, had a job,
Obama
and he
was
wrote
a
a book.
community organizer.
Yeah, I know we're still looking for the steel workers. He helped to find jobs, but I'm really just talking about the speech and the moment, the pageantry of it. I'm not talking about J.D. Vance in terms of his capacity, he and his wife, frankly. What an improvement this second couple will be to the current second couple. What an improvement she will be to the first gentleman. I'm not talking about any of that. That's all obvious. I'm just talking about, the speechifying and the electricity and the sort of the campaign aspect of the value add. So, but also on some policy issues, I've got, some questions about Vance too. I mean, he's very hard line on protectionism, maybe more so than Trump. This was JD's offering on trade.
When I was in the 4th grade, a career politician by the name of Joe Biden supported NAFTA, a bad trade deal that sent countless good jobs to Mexico. When I was a sophomore in high school, that same career politician named Joe Biden gave China a sweetheart trade deal that destroyed even more good American middle-class manufacturing jobs. When I was a senior in high school, that same Joe Biden supported the disastrous invasion of Iraq, and at each step of the way, in small towns like mine in Ohio or next door in Pennsylvania or Michigan, in states all across our country, jobs were sent overseas and our children were sent to war. And I agree. And somehow, a real estate developer from New York City by the name of Donald J. Trump was right on all of these issues while Biden was wrong. President Trump knew even then that we needed leaders who would put America first. Now, thanks to these policies that Biden and other out-of-touch politicians in Washington gave us, our country was flooded with cheap Chinese goods, with cheap foreign labor, and in the decades to come, deadly Chinese fentanyl. Joe Biden screwed up, and my community paid the price. Now.
Well, yeah, I'm just not on board with neo-mercantilism. And hardline protectionism the way Vance is. I said before, I find him a little bit too tightly aligned with Sean O'Brien, people like Sean O'Brien, who is not the best that big labor has to offer. Not the best. And I mean, Teamsters aren't really the trades either, by the way. So it's fine that he spoke at the convention. It doesn't bother me. Pitch your wares. But and maybe when Vance has broader perspective than Ohio, he'll modulate a bit on this. But Samuel Gregg had a good piece in the Journal on this. I mean, I don't want to get into protectionism versus free trade, though we can. I'm happy to do so. We've done so a lot over the years with Trump. He makes the point that 90% of the job losses during the China shock, the 12-year surge in Chinese imports that began around 2000, are attributable mainly to technological change and process improvement. Oh, by the way, America recently ranked second in the world for manufacturing in value-added terms. So America still makes plenty of stuff. It isn't devoid of factories. And many former manufacturing towns like Pittsburgh have successfully upgraded their economies. There was enough diversification to survive a shock in a particular sector. Now, that's not the case everywhere, particularly smaller to mid-sized communities around the country, and particularly in the Rust Belt. And I understand that communities got devastated and people got hurt. But when you're making macro policy, you have to take a macro perspective on it. And you have to sort of understand first principles and what are the implications, because there are implications to protectionism too, particularly in the same breath you're hearing throughout this convention from Trump Jr. as well as from Vance about the prices of things. Well, when you artificially increase the prices of things by putting taxes on them, because that's what a tariff is, then that's not providing much relief for those same middle income families that you're talking about, is it now? So it's just a little bit more complicated than the fist pumping in the direction of NAFTA. By the way, I mean, he says NAFTA, but then President Trump, of course, renegotiated NAFTA. They called it the USMCA, and it's not terribly distinguishable from NAFTA, frankly. Anyway, just a side note. Greg and Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Dan and Amy. Hi, Dan and Amy. The topic that you just put on the board there, Dan, is incredibly rich, and it's the high wage, low skills argument, which I'd love to talk about. But I'd like to go back to your former topic, and that's the tone of the convention. I agree with you that it just seems really flat, and I think back to 60, 64, 68, there was kind of that grainy quality that you watched on TV with the soaring rhetoric and the points that, if I was coaching him, I would have, really tried to link it that you were, first of all, playing to that audience in front of you in order to elicit a reaction from them that would then translate over the TV. The way it seems like modern communication is, though, that you communicate to the TV and then you kind of like let the audience react how they are. And I think that there's what you're intuitively sensing is there is a nature of a convention that should be present with that roaring rhetoric and the reaction of the crowd, et cetera. And if I could introduce one more topic that you haven't really talked about, is that from the standpoint of looking at a Republican convention, when you just see white people out, from wall-to-wall white people as opposed to a Democratic convention where there's a mixture, that certainly is true in this case, but it isn't. There is a new dimension, and that is of his wife being an Indian. And I would exploit that more if I were the Republican Party, that they're not just this, white person's party. They're evolving to be something.
Greg, I'm going to push back on that because I don't see all white people at the convention. What are you talking about? I mean, there's different people that of different races, and I thought it was a more diverse convention than there was in 2016.
Well, not to mention, I don't know, but I don't want to count. We get into the identitarian game, but I mean, we'll say you see Byron Donalds in the president's the family box one night. You see Vivek Ramaswamy. You see Usha Vance introducing her husband, as you just mentioned. So I mean, there is definitely some of that occurring.
Here's what I'm talking about. When you see the Democratic convention next month, and they pan the crowd with shot after shot after shot between a statement that's made with a speech, you're going to see an incredibly different type of audience.
Well,
and that's what I'm talking about.
Well, of course, but it's also, it's like Arnie Harris looking for the hot chick at Wrigley. All these cameras are looking for minorities to highlight the Dems, and they're just looking for old honkies because they're trying to brand the Republican Party implicitly, aren't they?
All right. Yes. Okay. Yes. Are there minorities at this convention? The answer is yes. But will it be exploited by the Democrats that there aren't, and it's basically a white person's party, even though it's present? It's a different context. And I would try to exploit that more from the Republican standpoint to support exactly what you're saying.
All right. Thanks for the call, Greg. Jim in LaGrange.
Hey, good morning, Dan, Amy. So I got a sense that this is J.D. Vance is a meat and potatoes kind of guy. I didn't get a sense that he's a Mike Pence light at all. And what I really liked about him was that kind of homey feel and the fact that he spoke up to his experience as a United States Marine. And as a sidebar, Dan, I believe that anybody who serves our nation at a higher office should have served in our military to understand what sacrifice is really about. So from that perspective, I think this guy has got it in spades. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jim. John in Florence, Wisconsin.
Yeah, you're not going to have the energy in the convention that you have in a Trump rally because of the security and because of the fact that, and not picking on Arnie Harris, you're not looking for the hot chicks. You're looking for everyone that's in their 60s and retired can actually go to the convention.
Yeah,
and then
that's true.
You touched on this part, Dan, and it's driven me insane since the second Bush that Americans won't do these jobs. Well, Americans will do the jobs, but they won't do them for free. And the part of protectionism is letting everybody have at least a decent shot at a wage. And being a blue-collar truck driver here, when I'm driving around Wisconsin and there's a bunch of Canadian trucks hauling paper around, and there are no quote-unquote Canadians or European-looking Canadians, there's nobody that even speaks English or French. They're all from third-world nations. That's an issue. When Quad Graphics in Lomira has signs for drivers in English and Spanish and Polish, that's kind of an issue because they're undercutting transportation, which isn't manufacturing, but it's service. And back in the day before Carter deregulated the industry, not saying that Teamsters were fair, but it was the middle-class working job that put food on the table. You guys have a good one. Go Trump. And go Marine Corps.
All right. Thanks for the call, John. Appreciate it. Dennis in Milwaukee.
Hey, thank you. Just to start, you are the most informing show on radio.
We know.
I learn something every single day.
It's true.
And I thank you and congratulate you for that.
We gotta freeze frame that. Give this to our friends. We've got a Japanese television crew here from a news station in Japan that's filming us this morning. So Dennis, you may go international with that comment. We hope. All right, go ahead, Dennis.
You guys are awesome. But here's the thing, right? So J.D. Vance is like any other political animal. He's adaptable. He was probably coached to not come off anything more than what he naturally presents as his own narrative.
Yeah.
I think when people start looking at his record, such as his proposed federal ban on abortion and in cases also of incest and rape and things like that, he's going to have enough baggage to defend. I'm just grateful that we don't have somebody who's going to cackle for 4 years in the White House.
Right. The bar has been lowered. Yes. Thanks for the call, Dennis. Kevin, Austin, Texas.
Good morning, Amy and Dan. I liked his style. Is definitely a contrast to Trump's style when he speaks. But I have to say, it was kind of annoying that the Ohio delegation kept interrupting him too much.
Well, you know how these Ohio State fans are. I mean, they're just intolerable.
Ohio State.
I know they're
know,
just terrible. Thanks for the call, Kevin.
That's the one flaw he has.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hi, I'm Charlie Moon. I've been in the trading game for almost 20 years, and I just discovered the most powerful trading tool I've ever seen. So if you're trading stocks or options, then listen up. This new AI-powered trade finder can find you stocks to consider trading, which have had gains as high as 1,729% and have had nearly perfect win rates. It analyzes the entire stock market in seconds and pumps out a list of trades for you to consider every single morning. And the trades it finds can be potentially profitable regardless of which direction the market is moving. So if you want in on this action, listen closely. For a short amount of time, I'm opening up free access to some of these picks and giving you the chance to get top trade ideas from the AI Trade Finder every day for 100% free. Just text TRADE to 76626. Stop trying to find the right stocks to trade on your own. Just text TRADE to 76626 now and get access to the top trades our AI finds every single day. Text TRADE to 76626. Standard text and data rates may apply. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Text TRADE to 76626.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel, home to the biggest shows on TV, like Brandon Tatum weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, followed by Charlie Kirk at 7. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free now on Zumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Zumo.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
There was another moment at the convention that didn't happen on stage. It happened in a hospitality suite. Republican senators, starting with Marsha Blackburn, confronting the director of the Secret Service. They want answers. We'll start there at 6:06.
COVID brought him into the presidency. Will it take him out? We'll explain. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
I-55 reopening. More tornadoes hit Chicago area than thought this week, and clearing out a homeless encampment. WIND Chicago News Time.
The
6.
Trump running mate in the spotlight. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I officially accept your nomination to be Vice President of the United States of America.
Senator J.D. Vance at the Republican convention last night.
Vance sharing personal stories about growing up as a poor child in Appalachia with a mom who struggled with addiction.
Fox's Brooks Singman in Milwaukee.
Vance really focused on Trump, calling him a fighter and praising him for his efforts to unite not only the Republican Party, but all Americans.
When Donald Trump rose to his feet in that Pennsylvania field, all of America stood with him.
Well, the former president was there, his right ear still bandaged after the assassination attempt that Vance referenced. He'll close the convention tonight with a speech accepting the GOP nomination. He wasn't the only victim of the shooting at that Trump rally on Saturday. Amazing grace. That's from a vigil last night in Buffalo Township, Pennsylvania for Corey Comparator, the firefighter killed when trying to shield his family from the gunfire. 2 others at the rally were seriously injured.
This is an epic fail on the part of the Secret Service and Homeland Security to allow this to happen.
Republican Congresswoman Claudia Tenney telling Fox she wants more answers. Some lawmakers want the Secret Service director to resign. As we learned, the gunman had been considered a suspicious person at the rally an hour before the shooting and had been seen on the rooftop. And Fox News has learned the gunman may have teased his attack online with a warning on a website.
Investigators told senators during a briefing Wednesday that 20-year-old Thomas Crooks posted on the online gaming platform Steam, in his words, "July 13 will be my premiere. Watch as it unfolds."
Fox's Carmen Roberts. President Biden's at his home in Delaware recovering from COVID amid continued concerns from fellow Democrats about his mental fitness and if he stays in the race. There are reports Democratic leaders in Congress met with him in recent days, warning he could lose big to former President Trump. America's listening to Fox News.
62 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. ComEd and state police updating the I-55 situation near Shanahan, saying the interstate is clear and being reopened this morning. Northbound and southbound traffic were diverted off since the Monday night storms near Shanahan. ComEd still with plenty of work to do to get the power back on and the transmission lines working again. CEO John Quinones.
Right here where we're standing now, the job is to make sure that we safely remove the infrastructure that's blocking I-55. It's a very involved process.
23,000 ComEd customers system-wide are still without power. National Weather Service says the number of tornadoes that may have hit the region is growing. They expect 19 to be the number, along with 6 reported on Sunday. Black leaders from the Chicago area urging the rest of the country to ditch Democrats and vote Republican. After the Wednesday Illinois GOP breakfast, Republican Cook County State's Attorney candidate Bob Fioretti made his case. Alongside him, Pastor David Lowry of the Universal Baptist Church in Harvey.
There's nothing that the Democrats have done or will they do across this country for black people but use us. So why not black people? Let us give the Republicans a chance to show what they can do for our communities as well.
In other news we're following this morning, Chicago city workers have scrubbed a homeless encampment from an area near the Dan Ryan Expressway ahead of next month's Democrat National Convention. The vote to appoint a new chair for the zoning committee for the city of Chicago postponed during Wednesday's city council meeting. Aldermen and women argued 34 votes were required, prompting Mayor Brandon Johnson to call off his vote for his choice for the position. 25th Ward Alderman Byron Sigcho Lopez.
He has fought against gentrification. He is clear about the need for economic development as well as affordable housing. That's what the people of Chicago want.
Alderman did succeed in passing an ordinance imposing a $1,000 fine to deter distribution of hateful material. Fire pulled an upset in MLS with a 1-0 win over Cincinnati. Cubs preparing for the second half of the 2024 season. Just 3.5 out of the NL wildcard spot. They return home to take on Arizona tomorrow. The news service of Valdecas Windows. For the discerning homeowner looking for high-quality and professional-level window replacement service, contact Valdecas Windows, your award-winning Platinum Elite Pella certified contractor. Visit Valdecas.com. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager can see the real hatred.
It's so obvious that it's hatred of Israel that is animating. There is so much more vast killings of innocents right now in West Africa. 60,000 Christians killed by Muslim terrorists since 2000. Any colleges taken over on their behalf?
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Charlie Kirk at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, if you're in the market for a rifle, a shotgun, or a revolver, you definitely want to go with the best in the business. And as far as I'm concerned, that's only one place, Henry Repeating Arms. You're going to be amazed by the quality craftsmanship, the buttery smooth action. It makes them a pleasure to shoot. Every one of my Henrys accurate right out of the box. They've all been reliable ever since. Now, the best way to learn about Henry's 200 models, just go to their website. It's one word, henryusa.com. You'll get a free catalog. They'll send you free decals, a list of dealers where you are, and they have a great newsletter as well, and they showcase their made-in-America firearms. Now, Henrys are backed by a lifetime warranty, 100% satisfaction, made in America, not made at all. That simple. And if you have questions, you can call their award-winning customer service department. Speak with an expert that will help you. Make sure you go to henryusa.com, get your free catalog, free decals, a list of dealers where you are, henryusa.com, a great American company.
Fruit and vegetable ingredients have never been more convenient.
It's easy for me to recommend Balance of Nature. It's so simple. It's amazing getting the fruits and vegetables ingredients in 3 red and 3 green capsules.
I take Balance of Nature. I think it's a good product. It's convenient. It's a way to start off with a plus. I can do little capsules in the morning, and I'm off to work, you know.
I would recommend Balance of Nature. It's so easy to do every day. I really am happy that I came across it. I feel great, and who doesn't want to feel great?
Time's ticking on your summer savings. Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature. Go to balanceofnature.com and get 50% off with your first set as a preferred customer. While supplies last, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. This week is your last chance to claim this offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
6:07. Let's check the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. This update a service of Papa Nicholas Coffee. A Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combining heritage and innovation in every cup. Hot air roasted locally, cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee because great coffee is their family tradition. PapaNicholas.com. The Kennedy already tough sledding. Slow Austin to Montrose, 34 and climbing into the Circle interchange. Good news for I-55 commuters in Will County. Both north and southbound 55 have been reopened by Illinois State Police. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast with Steve Williams.
Breezy and pleasant today. Lots of sun. High today 75. Clear tonight and the low 59. Sunny, pleasant, warmer tomorrow. The high up to 82. And then partly sunny on Saturday. The high 83. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
62 at O'Hare. Your next news update comes your way at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So a very special guest at last night's day 3 of the RNC.
There are a lot of special guests. Which one are you talking about?
Kim Cheadle, who is the director of Secret Service. She was there in a hospitality suite, and she was confronted by a number of Republican senators, John Barrasso from Wyoming, Jim Langford from Oklahoma, and most particularly Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee, who wanted answers. I mean, they encircled her, and she just stood there and took it. Barrasso was saying, "Look, I've called for your resignation. We need answers. We need you to appear before a committee hearing." And she has been subpoenaed to appear before the House Oversight Committee, Jim Comer's committee.
Well, she's public enemy number 1 right now. Why was she at the RNC? She should be in D.C., fixing her home and getting it in order.
Yeah, she said in the exchange, the only thing she would answer is, explaining why she wouldn't answer any of their questions. This is not the proper venue. I'm here in this hospitality suite to recognize our partners with the security for this operation. I mean, the Goodwill Tour, the timing of the Goodwill Tour with your partners as it pertains to the security for the RNC, DNC. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the number 2 could be put in charge of that, and number 1 should be ascertaining exactly how things went so awry and getting to the point, at least, as we talked about with Tim McCarthy, former Secret Service agent yesterday, getting to the point where you have some information that you're prepared to relay to the public. And it was interesting because after she said, okay, so everybody have a nice night. This is the wrong venue to be having this conversation, to be answering any questions you might have. They followed her.
Good, because she has blood on her hands. I'm glad they did.
Marsha Blackburn, I wouldn't say chasing her, but they followed her and filmed themselves chasing her with Marsha Blackburn continuing to pillory her.
This is exactly what you were doing today on the call. Stonewalling.
Attempt. You owe the people answers. You owe President Trump answers.
And then she went up the stairs and disappeared to another hospitality suite.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Well, we learned yesterday from the Butler Township Commissioner. Remember, this town is about 12,000 people. Well, 7 of his officers were assigned to traffic duty, Dan. Not to anything else, but when they heard that there was a shooter, this is what happened. One officer got on top of another to get to the roof.
The officer that's being lifted, he is using both hands to grab the edge of the roof and try to pull himself up. In that process, he exposes himself. The shooter turns and points his gun at him. Obviously, he is not in a position. He's pulling himself up with both hands to wield his gun. So obviously he fell back. He actually, in the process of falling back, he ended up injuring himself. He was not retreating. If he was in a position to engage the shooter, he would have done so. And that message is out there is disgusting.
Yeah, message disgusting. He says the USS, United States Secret Service Director Kim Cheadle is trying to blame their department for this murder situation, and she's barking up the wrong tree. So he finally came forward and said his piece.
Well, that's something. I mean, because there was conflicting reports about that. She said something too in that exchange with senators at the RNC. It was hard to exactly understand, but it sounded like she was doing some blame shifting again with respect to local law enforcement in this this GOP senator circle that encompassed her at the RNC yesterday. So. And again, we've heard from retired Secret Service agents, not just Tim McCarthy, but others, Olson the other day. There is no pointing fingers anywhere else but back at yourself. Secret Service had control of the environment, complete and total control. That's how it works. So if there was a gap where you wanted local law enforcement somewhere where local law enforcement wasn't, then that's not on local law enforcement. That's on Secret Service because you have the command.
Yeah, she talked to CNN.
And additionally, we have another question, and perhaps this is what drove Marsha Blackburn to follow Kim Cheadle after she was bobbing and weaving. The Secret Service was aware of potential threats 10 minutes before Trump took stage in Pennsylvania, but let him go out anyway. Blackburn said she was appalled to learn that Secret Service knew about a threat prior to Trump walking on the stage. I have no confidence in the leadership of Director Cheadle, and I believe it's in the best interest of our nation if she steps down from her position, which is going to be the caucus position of the Republican Party on the Hill before too long, I guarantee you. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Here she is talking about the perimeter. Because there was blame shifting. Was it the local police? No, it was on them.
The perimeter encompassed the area that we needed to secure for the event that we had on that day. What happened is a terrible incident and should never happen. And we are obviously going to make sure that moving forward, we take whatever lessons that come out of this and adjust accordingly.
And they talked about that she did increase the number of Secret Service when they got that threat from Iranian official.
What we increased was what we felt was appropriate for the former president and for that particular event on that day. We have been increasing the assets and the resources and the staffing that we have been providing to the former president since he was a presidential candidate and then the presumptive nominee.
I just wish the reporter would have said, why wasn't somebody on the roof? Just leave it. Just keep it simple.
Again, I don't know why there are people focused on this resource issue. That is a misdirection play.
Yep.
There was no lack of resources. It was the deployment of the resources you had.
Exactly.
Okay. Also, too, by the way, just in terms of the response from the left as their spin/damage control continues to evolve, or more to the point, devolve. You heard yesterday some man on the street stuff about how this whole thing was staged by Trump. Well, now that's being incorporated into the daily offerings at MSNBC. Here is incredibly, and again, the poster boy for the failure to vet by the Republican Party. Former RNC chairman Michael Steele yesterday on MSNBC. He's got questions about that ear. That ear that everybody's talking about and putting bandages on your own ear in solidarity with the former president's ear. He's got questions about it.
Where I am at this point is it's been 3 days going on 4 since this horrific event occurred. A person lost their life, 2 have been severely injured. And yet we've not received a medical report from the hospital, nor have we received a medical report from the campaign or from the Trump organization about the extent of the damage to his ear. If he was shot by a high caliber bullet, there should probably be very little ear there. And so we'd like to know that. Is there cosmetic surgery involved? What is the prognosis for recovery? Were there stitches? What is the extent and nature of the damage to his ear? Was it caused by a bullet as opposed to, as some reports from those on the scene, other reporters, saying that it was actually shards of glass from the teleprompter itself, not the bullet. So there are a lot of questions around that ear, and yet there's been no response to that. Instead, just showing the image of the man coming into the hall with the wounded ear.
Let me jump in on that.
Politics.
That's the pot. Mr. President, show us that ear.
Take off the patch now. I mean, that is sick. So they blamed him yesterday that his rhetoric caused him to get shot, and now they're saying that he's faking his injury. Okay, this is
He used
They're that desperate, Dan?
He used a prosthetic ear.
Yeah.
To cover his actual ear. He did a quick little sleight of hand. Okay. Oh, Mike, and he's still sticking to some reporting early on, possibility that it was the teleprompter shattering and it cut his ear. That was quickly dispatched because, we have like freeze frame picture of the bullet whizzing by his ear and so on and so forth.
And the teleprompter didn't get hit.
Right. But
so that would be another key factor that they need to know.
Michael Steele has questions, and he demands answers.
Just when you think they couldn't go any lower, they do.
And MSNBC was worried about Morning Joe. Well, but that's sort of the point. They're worried about everybody there. And that's not even the half of it. Wait till you hear from Joy Reid. Tony, Southside, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Amy, Lamb, and Dan. So I want to, I got two topics real quick. One, I need to set the record straight. On the Morning Answer, there was a caller that called in on Wednesday at 6 a.m. saying that he saw a video of the Trump shooter online ranting in the streets to kill Republicans. That wasn't the guy.
No.
That was some other dude somewhere else. But anyway, I just want to set the record straight on that.
Yeah.
And I finally have an answer to Amy's question. What was the shooter's motive? On January 29th of 1979, a shooting occurred outside of Grover Cleveland Elementary School in San Diego, California. Principal Burton Ragg and custodian Mike Schuster were killed. 8 children and police officer Robert were injured. The irrational shooting was carried out by a 16-year-old girl named Brenda Ann Spencer. In the aftermath, Spencer told reporters she had shot the children and the adults because I don't like Mondays, and this livens up the day. So an infamous song of Bob Geldof for the Boomtown Rats, I don't like Mondays. They can see no reasons because there are no reasons. What reasons do you need to die? There you go.
All right. Thanks for the call, Tony.
Bit of a stretch.
I mean, that the point is
right
that we're not going to know the reason because it's not a rational motive, but we'll see. I mean, obviously there's no rationalizing what was done, but you understand what I'm saying. It's something that you can't conceive. By the way, John Hinckley Jr., the man who shot Ronald Reagan.
Right. Who was in love with Jodie Foster.
He is calling for peace because violence doesn't solve anything. Please stop the shooting. Give peace a chance. John Hinckley Jr., who's focusing these days on his guitar work. Probably after that post on X, he'll get a speaking role at the DNC. Stephen Roselle, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. I think we've reached a point where it's drummed into little girls' heads that they can rise to the top and succeed without reminding them that, like Cheeto here, they can rise to the top and fail when, as Director of Secret Service, they have to call security to get rid of the senators.
Thanks for the call. Yeah, it was a good thing that Secret Service was there to protect the Secret Service director at the RNC. Mark in Oak Lawn.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Amy. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, I'll tell you, I'm so enthusiastic about J.D. Vance. I think that, he's a very smart, articulate guy, but he has the mentality of a regular guy. He's not one of these high-profile political stiffs. He can relate to a lot of different people, and I think he's really going to help President Trump. And I love the way he called out the the Iraq War, saying that, it was a mistake. We don't want to go into something like that ever again. And the beauty of it is he served over there.
Right.
So he knows what it's like, what war is like. All these political hacks are up there. A lot of them never even served. They took deferments, but they're all for war, but they don't want to go. So kudos to J.D. Vance.
All right, thanks for the call, Mark. Jerry and Gurnee.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Amy. Thanks for taking my call. I heard this on the Laura Ingraham show, that this Cheeto person, she got her position because she's a friend of Jill Biden, not because of her qualifications. Is that true?
Well, thanks for the call, Jerry. I mean, she should have 2 decades at Secret Service in various posts. And then she was in corporate America working for PepsiCo, ostensibly doing corporate security. And then she was brought back. So, does she have the chops for the role? She's got tenure there. Does that mean she has the leadership quotient to be the Secret Service director? Well, I think that's very much in question these days, isn't it?
And every interview she does not help herself. It makes it worse. And she should do it like Mike Johnson yesterday when he was on with Fox News. He's like, I'm calling for her resignation. She should resign.
Mike in Kaukauna, Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning, Dan, Amy. Thanks for taking my call. I just want to, when will we start hearing from the MSNBC crew, Mr. President, tear down this bandage?
Yeah, exactly.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Ralph and Rantoul.
Yeah, good morning. By the way, thanks for playing that Michael Steele cut. It reminds me of every reason why the RNC failed to do a good job ever.
Yeah.
But, I hear it on good authority that Cheadle is still very plugged into the PepsiCo pipeline, that she's an advisor on a new product they're working on right now, which is either they're not sure what they're going to call it yet, either Flamin' Hot Near Miss or Cool Ranch Rifle. And that's going to be one of the new Doritos brands. Every chip is going to have a little circle right in the middle of it that's missing. And for the people that are calling fake stuff, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do with them? Exactly.
There's too many stupid people. There's too many stupid people. And unfortunately, not only will illegals be voting this election by design, but the same stupid people that always vote will still be voting. Just take a look at Illinois and Chicago, and there's abundant evidence for stupid people voting.
Thanks for the call, Ralph. I'm hoping that Trump tonight channels Ronald Reagan, not Ronald Reagan as president, Ronald Reagan, the great actor. You remember? Yes. In King's Row, which was actually an excellent movie. Oh, and he takes off the bandage. He tears down that bandage, as Mike from Kaukauna said.
Yeah.
And he says, "Where's the rest of me?" Right? From Reagan and King's Row went the leg and do people.
I think that's great.
Does people not get that reference? It's just for my entertainment then, which is fine. I'm good with that.
I'm sure somebody out there gets that reference, Dan.
Where's the rest of? Maybe I didn't say it with enough verve.
Try it again. Take 2. Go.
Yeah. He takes off the bandage. Where's the rest of me? No, it's flat. It doesn't work. Maybe.
Boy.
Mike in Harwood Heights.
Yes. Good morning. I heard the other day that the agents around Trump when he was shot, that only one was Secret Service and the rest of them were Department of Homeland Security agents.
Yeah.
You know anything about that?
Yeah, there's something to that. We actually had this conversation with Tony Schaefer, retired lieutenant colonel, yesterday, and he gave us the insight, which I didn't pick up on. So this is why we have experts. So stars are Secret Service, and the more traditional police-looking badges are Homeland Security. So, for example, that Melissa McCarthy chick, the Reno 911 understudy who couldn't holster her gun, Homeland Security. And then, by the way, there's now video out of her when they arrived at the hospital in front of the ambulance, and she was having trouble holstering her gun there, too.
I saw that yesterday. Oh, and by the way, Michael Steele should know that he did go to the hospital. There is video of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all part of the staging, don't you see? Anyway, Mike, that's what, yeah, so you're right about that. See, it's a combination of Secret Service and Homeland Security.
Unreal. All right, thanks for the info.
Well, they're under the leadership of Homeland Security. They used to be in part of Treasury
Um,
back in the day.
Dennis in White House, Tennessee. Is that a real place? Dennis.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, it is. Good morning, Americans. I wanted to comment that I always thought that Marsha Blackburn and Marianne Ahern had a striking resemblance.
I can see that. Well, they're both beautiful women.
Okay. Sure.
Is
Is that what you meant, Dennis? Two beautiful women?
Two beautiful women chasing down crazy leftist lunatics.
Yeah.
All right, very
And Marianne
good.
Ahern did that after a hip replacement.
Oh, well, the great ones play hurt.
Randy! Where's the rest of me?
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
My name is Dr. Dave Anspaugh. I have co-authored a wellness textbook, which was the #1 bestseller, and I do about anything that I want to do. I still take care of my own lawn, and I go to the health club. We'll go 2-3 miles on the treadmill there. I've been taking Balance of Nature about 6 years. It has convinced me that it's a great product. I enjoy playing golf. I will go out there and go down to the green and go back and do it once or twice more. Seems like being retired, I've got more going on than I did when I was actually working. I stay active. I do about anything I want to do. As long as I'm breathing the air, I'm going to be taking Balance of Nature.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature. Go to balanceofnature.com and get 50% off with your first set as a preferred customer. While supplies last, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. This week is your last chance to claim this offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Do you just grin and bear it or bite the bullet when it comes to everyday pain? Don't. Try Relief Factor, a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, it's developed by doctors. In 3 weeks or less, you'll know whether it works for you like it works for me. Try Relief Factor for yourself. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
What does it take for organizations to triumph? It takes the trust of people like you. And that's why an estimated 14 million givers look for the ECFA seal. Over 2,700 leading ministries across the U.S. display ECFA seal, demonstrating that they live up to biblical standards of financial accountability, responsible governance, and trust. So next time you donate, look for the ECFA seal, a widely recognized symbol of trust. Visit ecfa.org/trust to learn more.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his two business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Bastuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 6:36, General Secretary Joe got knocked down. But you know what he does when he gets knocked down?
Hides in his basement in Delaware?
Come on. You know what he does. You know what he does.
What does he do?
Well, you'll find out at 6:36.
Oh, that's a good tease. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
6:32, 62 degrees this morning. Ohio's junior senator, now officially Donald Trump's running mate. Here's Fox's Kristen Goodwin in Milwaukee.
Vance officially accepting the Republican Party's vice presidential nomination.
Tonight is a night of hope.
a celebration of what America once was, and with God's grace, what it will soon be again.
Reflecting on unity in the moments after the attempt on former President Trump's life.
When Donald Trump rose to his feet in that Pennsylvania field, all of America stood with him.
Also talking about his upbringing and what he's learned during his time in the Senate.
My message to you, my fellow Republicans, is we love this country and we are united to win.
Calling the evening a night of hope. From the RNC in Milwaukee, Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Donald Trump will address the convention tonight. A speech you will hear right here on AM 560. The Answer, with gavel-to-gavel coverage of the RNC beginning at 7. President Biden canceling campaign events while he apparently deals with COVID-19. More reports about the Secret Service protection at Donald Trump's Pennsylvania rally coming out during a closed-door Senate briefing on Wednesday. Republican Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming says FBI Director Christopher Wray had troubling things to say.
The shooter has been identified an hour before the shooting occurred as a suspicious person.
Barrasso went on to say that after the shooter was identified, agents lost sight of him. A heat wave across southern Europe forced authorities in Greece to close the Acropolis in the middle of the day, while 2 firefighters died in southern Italy, putting out a major wildfire. Cleanup crews are trying to work to get Canada's largest city back to normal, a day after torrential downpours flooded out Toronto's major roadways. Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich has attended a hearing behind closed doors in his trial in Russia on espionage charges his employer and the U.S. government deny. A national litigation firm is filing a lawsuit against California's new transgender parental notification ban in public schools. The Liberty Justice Center says the suit was filed Tuesday. We're hearing this morning that Fandango's founder, James Klein, is dead at the age of 64. Tragically, the founder of the movie ticketing app jumped to his death from a 20th floor upscale New York City hotel this week. The married father of 6 did leave a note. ComEd and state police providing an update this morning on I-55 near Channahon, saying the interstate has been reopened after nearly 4 days of closures due to ComEd equipment and heavy power lines falling over that roadway. The number of tornadoes that hit the Chicago area this week growing. National Weather Service says there may have been 19 tornadoes across the area. The news is a service of Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee because great coffee is their family tradition. Online at papanicholas.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Charlie Kirk might have a trust issue.
They lied about the origins of COVID. They lied about the Hunter Biden laptop. They lied about Donald Trump and the Russiagate. When I hear that from the intel agencies, they have not earned my trust the last 5 years. Not at all. And the repeated lies and the repeated use of the American government for political means, we should never trust what these intel agencies say ever again.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
For anyone with everyday aches and pains, I've got a question. What are you missing out on? Probably a lot. So let me tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In about 3 weeks, you'll discover what it's like to feel better. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4RELIEF.
Madame Giselle senses a change in your future.
Is it a promotion?
I see a door opening.
Ooh, through a corner office?
There's a creature. Beady eyes, lots of hair.
Is it my boss, Dave?
No, raccoons everywhere. Your RV door is open, and they're chewing everything.
Not a problem. I'm covered by Progressive. Do you see a bigger paycheck?
Customize your coverage with Progressive's Pest Damage Protection and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pest damage protection available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost.
Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-353-2973. That's 800-353-2973. What do you have to lose? Call 800-353-2973. Again, 800-353-2973.
As everyone can tell, we're living in turbulent times. During times of uncertainty like World War II and 9/11, people have often turned to God. In times like these, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville, Illinois reminds all Americans of the ancient promise found in 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. This is not a political statement. It's a call to all God-fearing Americans to do as God's word instructs. America needs healing now. Whether you're for the guy on the left or the right or neither, everyone needs to heed the word of God as 2 Chronicles instructs us. May God bless all our leaders and God bless the USA. This message is brought to you by Fox Valley Coins on Route 59, Naperville, Illinois.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
6:39. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Let's start in Bolingbrook. Traffic signals are still dark. They've been dark since Monday evening. And at Weber Road and Boughton Road in Bolingbrook, you got to navigate that like a four-way stop. I-65, big construction problems this morning, southbound side, with delays from State Road 2 down to 205th. Delays on I-57 in the Bishop Ford, already jamming into the Ryan Merge. And as we told you, I-55, Will County near Shanahan, has been reopened this morning, both north and southbound. Traffic, a service of Mattress Firm. Save up to 60% on a wide selection of quality mattresses at every price. Plus, score a free adjustable base with a qualifying purchase. Hurry and stop by Mattress Firm today. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast from AccuWeather. Sunny, breezy, and pleasant. High 75. Clear and moonlit. 59 overnight. Another great day tomorrow. Sunny and pleasant. High 82. 62 right now. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. General Secretary Joe was having such a great week. He knocked it out of the park at the NAACP at their convention in Las Vegas.
Yesterday he was touring a Mexican restaurant with few people there, but yeah, he was out and about.
He had a great interview with BET, Black Entertainment Television, in which he explained how and why he is going for a second term. Didn't want to. Was prepared to be a transitional candidate just as he had advertised in 2020, but then something happened.
And look, when I originally ran, you may remember it, I said I was going to be a transitional candidate. And I thought that I'd be able to move from this, just pass it on to someone else. But I didn't anticipate things getting so divided. And quite frankly, I think the only thing age brings is a little bit of wisdom. And I think I've demonstrated that I know how to get things done for the country, in spite of the fact that we couldn't get it done. But there's more to do, and I'm reluctant to walk away from that.
No, of course. So let me understand the logic, if I could. So you prepared to be a transitional candidate, but then things got so divided under your watch that you have to stay. Okay.
Yeah.
But also, too, the accomplishments. Like, that black guy. He made
the Department of Defense?
SecDef.
And so it's all about treating people with dignity. And it's about making sure that, look, for example, look at the heat I'm getting because I named the Secretary of Defense, the black man.
Yeah, the black man.
Ketanji Brown. Because of the people I've named.
The black man. Remember Ketanji Brown? I was sort of impressed with that after he couldn't remember Lloyd Austin's name.
He always has a problem with Lloyd Austin's name. That is the third time I've heard him stumble.
I like to forget it, too. But anyway, he was having such a great week, as you heard.
Yeah, great week. Killing it, Dan. Killing it.
And then this unfortunate announcement was made in Las Vegas. I'm sorry to report.
Thank you all so much for your patience and understanding. Regrettably, I was just on the phone with President Biden, and he shared his deep disappointment at not being able to join us this afternoon. The president has been at many events, as we all know, and he just tested positive for COVID.
Oh, my God.
So, of course, we understand that he needs to take the precautions that have been recommended, and he did not obviously want to put anybody at risk.
There was a follow-up question that was asked. Do we have that? Do we have the follow-up question? That somber moment.
I mean, that hit hard. That was, So here you... My heart stopped. Okay, so just so everybody knows, this is the third time he has tested positive for COVID. His symptoms were a runny nose. So he has a runny nose. So according to the CDC, he doesn't have to isolate anymore. But he took Air Force One. He went up the short steps too. Didn't have a mask on, by the way. He's a super spreader.
Well,
and he's now in the basement of his house in Delaware. I mean, come on.
Well, again, it's you understand the gas because we understand from General Secretary Joe himself, the big guy, Mr. 10%, President Biden, that once you get the COVID jab, or 8 or 10 of them as he has had,
you're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he's eating his own words. So here you have a president who was shot in the head, who played golf the next day and is continuing on to Milwaukee. He didn't stop campaigning. He didn't stop fighting for Americans. And then this guy gets a runny nose and he runs to the basement in Delaware.
Well, they say, I mean, again, you don't want to minimize he's 81 years old. So if you get a virus, it could be serious. But they have said, the White House has said, his symptoms are modest, moderate symptoms, so he doesn't seem to be in any peril.
I want to see the test. I want to see proof. Michael Steele wants to see Trump's ear. I want to see Biden's positive COVID test.
We should do a prisoner exchange.
Yeah.
We'll let you see the ear if you let us see the COVID test, the positive COVID test. I think that's fair. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Now, there was a follow-up question. The audience was a bit shaken, but then things really went haywire.
Are you telling us absolutely everything?
Not exactly. We're also out of coffee.
Yeah, well, that's real double whammy there in Las Vegas. Joy Reid weighed in on this, as did the enlightened class that mans the news desks at MSNBC.
She's taking Ozempic, too.
Looks great. Hot blonde chick, Joy Reid. She had a keen insight, as is her one. Harvard grad, Joy Reid. comparing and contrasting the failed assassination attempt on Trump to Joe Biden's cold, I think this is more than fair. You'll find it so.
The question that I have on that, these two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same?
It should.
I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man coming through out of an illness.
It should.
Jen Psaki seconded that emotion, so there it is. It is now established that surviving a cold is the same thing as surviving an assassination attempt. Okay.
Equating Biden's COVID battle to Trump being shot is a bit of a stretch, but they're desperate right now, Dan. The walls are closing in on Biden. I mean, he even said that if his health changes, he will step down, which now even Adam Schiff wants him to pass the baton.
If I had some medical condition that emerged, if the doctors came to me and said, you got this problem, that problem. But I made a serious mistake in the whole debate. And look, when I originally ran, you may remember it, I said I was going to be a transitional candidate.
Yeah, right. We know. But you made things so divisive that you have to stay. Okay. It's interesting. I made such a mess, I've got to stay. Mike and Hammond, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Thanks for taking my call, guys. You guys are missing a point with Biden as well. Is Ketanji Brown couldn't answer what a woman is, and Biden didn't know what a man was either. He said a black man, then he named Ketanji Brown. The whole party's screwed up.
I think he was trying to remember other black people that he knows, and that was the one name that came to mind. Thanks for the call, Mike. George in Naperville.
Our country is working Joe ragged. He is getting things done, Dan.
I understand he's building back better.
Building back better? Is that what that is?
Building back better.
Better, stronger, safer America?
Yeah, actually, Don Trump Jr., who had a turn at the wheel last night, day 3 of the RNC.
He's good.
He was pretty good. He was pretty good. I like
something there.
I like this riff that he went on about all of the lies and frauds and hoaxes that have been perpetrated by the left over the last 8 years, leading up to and including Biden's presidency. This is a pretty good riff.
And the lies. Oh, yeah, the lies. We won't ever forget the lies. From left-wing politicians, from their allies in the media. When you hear them in a row, you fully understand the extent they have gone to divide this great nation. They lied about Russia collusion. They lied about Hunter's laptop. They lied about Joe Biden's fitness for office. They lied about the border being secure. They lied about inflation being transitory. They lied about how they would safely withdraw from Afghanistan. They lied about Biden being a, quote, moderate. And they told one nonstop lie after another about my father. But they could only run away from reality for so long. All hell has broken loose in America, and it's impossible to hide anymore. Remember Build Back Better? Instead, we got broke, bumbling Biden. Nothing is built, nothing is back, and nothing is better.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line.
Nothing is built, nothing is back, and nothing is better. I like that. Tom in Oswego, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Well, don't accept.
Good morning.
Wait a second. Wait, something has been built. Sorry to interrupt, Tom.
What?
Those 5 charging stations.
Oh, that's right, 5.
Those 5
How
EV
many
charging
millions did we
stations
spend
have
on?
been build. All right, Tom, go ahead.
All right. Good morning. I have to wake up at 4 o'clock every morning and work till about 9 o'clock at night running my business to make money to pay for this Bidenomics. Now, my question is, with all this chaos going on with President Trump and President Biden, now he's got COVID, who the hell is running the country? Or who has been running the country? Nobody's asking this. And we have serious problems in this country, all around the world, and I don't hear anybody talking about who is actually running the show.
Well, thanks for the call, Tom. Well, I hate that running the country phrase. Actually, Don Trump Jr. raised that very question during his speech. And is it Jill? Is it Hunter? Is it Barack? And I think Barack Obama got the loudest applause in affirmative applause. But they run the government. The government isn't the country. I know that sounds perhaps idiosyncratic, but I think it's important how we conceive of these things. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, they don't run the country. The American people run the country. The country doesn't run but for the people being, like Tom from Oswego, being productive in the private sector, financing all of this government largesse, although it's unfinanceable, but you understand my point. They run the government. They run specific agencies. They have specific tasks, and most of them fail spectacularly, as we've seen. But they don't run the country. We run the country. Matt, South Bend.
Thank you for taking my call. I just want to say it's been such a long time since I've seen the Republicans have as much energy, following up with the shooting, and there's Trump there at that, and then follow up. You've got Biden, who supposedly had a cold debate and has COVID, so he's having twice after Knox here. Just also want to mention, I was thinking of Mayorkas, and there's an actor that used to pop his mouth, Fritz Feld. I couldn't remember who exactly that it reminded me of, and that's who it was. So I feel better all about the Republican Party. Thank you much for taking my call.
Thanks, Matt. Tom in Cherville.
Hello. Yeah, President Biden ought to, after getting Wuhan virus again, ought to thank Trump for warp speed. Otherwise, he'd be dead.
All right, thanks, Tom.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info and last 3 addresses. Your info is in endless places that could accidentally expose your info to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
IT support, how can we help?
Hey there, we have a huge problem. Our network crashed and our entire assembly line is down. We're losing thousands of dollars an hour. Can you help?
Please hold.
What are they saying?
They put me on hold.
We gotta get this line back running now.
IT support, who are you holding for, please?
Oh, hi. I need help. My network is down. I've been on hold for over...
Sorry, wrong call. Please hold again.
Sound familiar? Don't let a network problem cost your business thousands of dollars. Turnkey is the champion of small businesses. For the price of a monthly car payment, Turnkey will fully protect your network with the most secure, up-to-date cyber protection, unlimited backup, unlimited 24/7 help desk support, and real-time threat hunting. All by world-class technicians who really care about helping people. Protect your small business today. Visit turnkey.pro today.
Success.
It's discipline. It's teamwork. It's the drive and passion inside of us that comes before all recognition. It's the best of each of us made better by the best in all of us. It's what Stifel's been doing for over 130 years. And it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing global wealth management and investment banking firms in the industry. Stifel. It's where success meets success. Start your journey at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Join me, Dennis Prager, on an unforgettable Bible cruise to the Caribbean, November 29th to December 8th, 2024. Imagine 9 days of basking in the sun, surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. Amid profound conversations, I'll share about the Bible and my insights into current events in a way that I believe you will really enjoy. Secure your spot on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure by calling 855-565-5519 or booking online at PragerBibleCruise.com.
As a business owner, do you have a strategy for exiting your business? Most business owners don't. Studies done by the Exit Planning Institute show 75% of business owners who don't have an exit plan are dissatisfied with their exit, and 80% of businesses put to market never sell. Total Clarity Wealth Management understands the hesitation to discuss exiting. Will customers leave? Will competitors take advantage? Will key employees leave? That's why they offer confidential planning. Contact Anne-Marie at Total Clarity Wealth Management. Discover what the financial foundation should be to pursue an exit that is satisfying. At some point, you are going to leave your business. Will it be on your terms? Total Clarity can show you the way to financial readiness and keep you on track. Anne-Marie is a certified exit planning advisor. Visit TotalClarityBusiness.com. That's TotalClarityBusiness.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Total Clarity Wealth Management, Inc., a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 7:07, the latest in the big gulp attempted assassination of Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx. And what she told Flossmoor Police. She gave the details. We have them at 7:07.
But now let's head into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
I-55 has reopened in Will County in Channahon after several days of closures. The National Weather Service confirms more tornadoes hit the Chicago area. Highland Park survivors and families of victims are suing the Illinois State Police. The Illinois Department of Public Health reporting its first human case of West Nile virus in 2024. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
From hillbilly elegy to vice presidential nominee, I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I pledge to every American, no matter your party, I will give you everything I have.
J.D. Vance accepting the nomination to be the Trump running mate.
Together, we will put the citizens of America first.
And Senator J.D. Vance praised the former president, who will speak tonight to close out the Republican convention.
They said he was a tyrant. They said he must be stopped at all costs. But how did he respond? He called for national unity.
Also speaking last night, family members of the 13 U.S. Marines killed in a terrorist bombing during the chaotic American troop withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021. Alicia Lopez's son, Hunter, among them.
We have another son serving in the Army, and we do not trust Joe Biden with his life.
Now to the Trump assassination attempt. The gunman posted on a gaming site days before that July 13th will be his premiere. Watch as it unfolds. Fox's Jonathan Sarria reports from Butler, Pennsylvania.
Sources with knowledge of a briefing for senators say Crooks was identified as a suspicious person of interest at 5:10 that afternoon, more than an hour before the shooting.
And that's upsetting lawmakers even more.
We had a call yesterday. It was worthless. It didn't tell us anything.
Republican Congressman Michael Waltz tells Fox they had to subpoena the Secret Service director to testify on Monday.
What the hell is going on? She should have been the first person to stand in front of the country and assure us to say, we're going to get to the bottom of this.
President Biden's recovering from COVID in Delaware. Fox's Peter Ducey reports.
There are meetings that he had a week ago that are just starting to leak out now. Nancy Pelosi privately told Biden in a recent conversation that polling shows that the president cannot defeat Trump. And
that's, again, Peter Ducey from Delaware. America's listening to Fox News.
62 degrees and sunshine in Chicago at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. ComEd and State Police providing us an update this morning. I-55 near Shanahan has been reopened in both directions after nearly 3 days of being shut down due to work that needed to be done by ComEd because of power lines that fell across the interstate.
Not only here in the Chicagoland area, but across the nation. You know, you've seen it in all parts of the country. This is an unprecedented type of event. We've not seen this type of catastrophic failure.
As of this morning, about 22,000 ComEd customers are without power. The number of tornadoes that struck the Chicago area this week is growing now, said to be around 19 across the region during Monday's storms. 6 additional tornadoes confirmed from Sunday. Black leaders from the Chicago area urging many others to ditch Democrats and vote Republican. Pastor David Lowry Jr. of the Universal Baptist Church of Harvey stood at the Republican National Convention yesterday saying black voters in the Chicago area should join him in ditching Democrats.
There's nothing that the Democrats have done or will they do across this country for black people but use us. So why not black people? Let us give the Republicans a chance to show what they can do for our communities as well.
In other news we're following, Chicago city workers have scrubbed a homeless encampment from an area near the Dan Ryan Expressway ahead of next month's Democrat National Convention. The vote to appoint a new chair for the Chicago Zoning Committee was postponed during Wednesday's city council meeting. Aldermen and women argued 34 votes were required, prompting Mayor Brandon Johnson to call off the vote. Mayor's choice for that position is 25th Ward Alderman Byron Lopez.
He has fought against gentrification. He is clear about the need for economic development as well as affordable housing. That's what the people of Chicago want.
Alderman did succeed in passing an ordinance imposing a $1,000 fine to deter distribution of hateful material. Chicago sports. Fire pull away with an upset, a 1-0 victory over FC Cincinnati. Inter Miami is Saturday. Brian Harman looking to defend his crown when the British Open tees off from Royal Troon in Scotland. The news is a service this hour of Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combining heritage and innovation in every cup. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee because great coffee is their family tradition. Online, papanicholas.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This week, the eyes of the nation will turn to Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention. At AM 560, The Answer will provide gavel-to-gavel coverage each night, beginning at 7 p.m., presented by 120 Life. Hear all of the speeches, and then instant analysis from AM 560's Bruce DeMont, Jeannie Ives, and John Anthony. And they'll be taking your calls with your reaction. Don't miss a moment as the Republicans officially nominate Donald Trump right here on your election station. AM 560, The Answer.
When you're in chronic pain, you're miserable to be around, and so are the people who have to watch you suffer. So stop it. Do something about it. Now's the time to be proactive and take care of yourself. And there's another solution other than surgery or drugs. Call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics, they have a cutting-edge treatment that revitalizes your joints with your body's own healing process. So if you have arthritis or if you're in pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, back due to an injury, you need to call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation and get your life and mobility back. You know, I've been to one of their clinics. I met a few of their customers. They were smiling from ear to ear, so happy to have their mobility back, pain-free, without surgery. They have locations all across the Chicagoland area, including new locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. Call for a free consultation, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955, 312-809-5955.
Hey, if you're in the market for a rifle, a shotgun, or a revolver, you definitely want to go with the best in the business. And as far as I'm concerned, that's only one place, Henry Repeating Arms. You're going to be amazed by the quality craftsmanship, the buttery smooth action. It makes them a pleasure to shoot. Every one of my Henrys accurate right out of the box. They've all been reliable ever since. Now, the best way to learn about Henry's 200 models, just go to their website. It's one word, henryusa.com. You'll get a free catalog. They'll send you free decals, a list of dealers where you are, and they have a great newsletter as well. And they showcase their Made in America firearms. Henry's are backed by a lifetime warranty, 100% satisfaction. Made in America, not made at all. That simple. And if you have questions, you can call their award-winning customer service department. Speak with an expert that will help you. Make sure you go to henryusa.com, get your free catalog, free decals, a list of dealers where you are. henryusa.com, a great American company.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
When I came across Balance of Nature, I knew this is the product for me because it just smelled real. Balance of Nature has fruits and vegetables in the ingredients. With Balance of Nature, I feel great.
Hi, my name is Tina, and I love playing music. I really love my music. I love it because it makes me feel happy, puts me in another world. It's awesome. I started taking Balance of Nature 2 years ago. I love Balance of Nature. It makes me feel great.
Time's ticking on your summer savings. Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Don't miss out. This week's your last chance to claim this offer. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
7:08. Let's get an update on the roads now. We do that in our Team Hochberg Traffic Center, and it is a service of Windy City Safes, Chicagoland's only Liberty Safe dealer. With Liberty Safes, you're not just getting a safe, you're getting peace of mind. Visit the Niles showroom or call 224-LOCKBOX or online at WindyCitySafes.com. You're making your trip in Elk Grove Village this morning. Pretty big intersection, Arlington Heights Road and Landmeyer. Bad accident with injuries there. Joliet, watch out. Fallen power cables still bottling up the intersection of US 52 just west of Briggs. Same story. No fallen power cables, but traffic signals are dark. Weber Road, north of Boughton Road in Bolingbrook. I-65 southbounders, you're dealing with a mess this morning. It's ongoing road work, bottling things up right at State Road 2. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast with Steve Williams.
Breezy and pleasant today. Lots of sun. High today 75. Clear tonight and the low 59. Sunny, pleasant, warmer tomorrow. The high up to 82. And then partly sunny on Saturday. The high 83. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Mostly sunny, 62 at O'Hare. Partly cloudy, 66 at Midway. Your next news update is 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We have a rarity in Cook County that has occurred. Charges against a would-be criminal have been upgraded by the Cook County State's Attorney's Office.
That's normally a good thing. Yeah.
Charges upgraded by the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. Kim Fox, that office, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox has upgraded charges against someone accused of breaking the law.
I never thought I'd see the day, Dan.
Well, the exceptional circumstances for this virtually unprecedented occurrence involved Kim Fox. You may recall a few weeks ago, 10:30 a.m. on a Friday, Kim Fox was taking her daily walk around her house in Flossmoor.
She was supposed to be at work that day. But I've been told she always works from home. But, taking a 10:30 a.m. break, okay.
She's got a lot of time on her hands. It's no problem. You're working from home. 10:30 a.m. on Friday, June 21st, Fox taking a walk near her Flossmoor home. As she walked, a man driving a pickup truck on the opposite side of the road yelled for her to Get the F off the road, BH, according to Flossmoor police report. We now have more information about this story per redacted police reports that have been released. Now, again, through FOIA requests, not willingly released, not proactively released, but through FOIA requests and pressing on the Flossmoor Police Department to release them by CWB Chicago. Now, again, this was sort of telegraphed by the driver because, I mean, as he rolled up, you could hear this blaring. And so, I mean, she couldn't have been surprised when he doubled down and said, "What?
Yeah.
Don't you hear Ludacris?"
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then she flipped him off. Don't forget, I've been maintaining mutual combatants.
He stopped after she gave him the "you're number one." Zigzagged in reverse quickly toward Fox, who says she, quote, felt unsafe, unquote, stepped out of the roadway as the driver stopped very close to her, according to the police report. The driver and Fox exchanged words, at which point the driver tossed the contents of a big gulp drink on her because some of it landed in Fox's mouth.
And it was?
She believes the liquid to have been root beer.
Yes, thank you.
After the assault, Fox called a member of her security detail and her top assistant. And the security detail contacted Flossmoor Police Department's acting chief, who then asked the local beat officer to take Fox's report.
He's like, that family again? Because remember, earlier, she and her husband were in a little tussle.
Yeah, she beat her husband up because he was playing video games too much. And
she took his device, his remote.
Well, you have to take it away from him to make him stop, and she grounded him too. But she allegedly physically assaulted him, and she should have been arrested, but she wasn't.
And we all FOIA'd that police report and the body cam video, and they didn't have it. Interesting.
From the report now, this is put yourself in Kim Fox's shoes. I jump on the sidewalk because I think the man is trying to hit me, saying that he drove in reverse at full speed, whatever full speed is. She goes on to say, listen closely, I'm watching his hands because he looked, no offense, like someone who doesn't like black people.
Oh, here we go. Here and they here we go.
What does that look like? What's the honky who doesn't look like black people? Doesn't like black people? What does that look like? What's that look?
What kind of vibe was that he gave her?
So now we have driving while honky in Flossmoor. We have a full 180 driving while honky in Flossmoor. 312-642-5600 turnkey.pro answer line 64636 DA turnkey.pro text line. A witness said he's not from the neighborhood. He's out of is he out of place? Is the honky driver in this case, is he out of place? Is that what you're saying in Flossmoor? Gosh, have you ever heard those words before in a different context? Had that look, out of place in the neighborhood?
Gave me the vibe that he doesn't like black people.
Well, that's the whole point. So the Cook County State's attorney is allowed to racially profile then. What's the evidence that he didn't like black people? He didn't like you. He didn't, and he told police, by the way, who showed up subsequent to it. I think he was at a library or something, and he didn't even know who Kim Fox was. He didn't know it was the Cook County State's attorney. He doesn't know who Kim Fox was, at least not by sight. And so she jumped out of the road. She said she jumped out of the road. I jump on the sidewalk. Well, so you weren't walking on the sidewalk.
That's why sidewalks are for.
I'm not justifying anything that he did in terms of throwing a big gulp on her. Obviously, he shouldn't have done that. Obviously, that's battery, and that was a dumb thing for him to do. But I'm just saying this whole story and the upgrading of charges. Flossmoor police wanted to charge with misdemeanor. The Cook County State's Attorney's Office, Kim Fox, came down and says, no, it's going to be felonies.
Yeah,
that's the upgrade.
She sent somebody from her office down to Flossmoor.
Felony review. The detective for Flossmoor, it's going to be from R, as of right now, a misdemeanor, okay? When he talked to the alleged assailant, William Sweats. Fox rejected the misdemeanor complaint, believing Flossmoor PD had not conducted a complete investigation. Rather than interviewing her and the witness personally, the detective gathered information by reviewing the first officer's body cam footage, according to a source. The detective told Fox that his department does not use a state felony charge known as aggravated battery in a public place because that statute allows virtually any battery to be upgraded to a felony if it takes place in public. And by the way, this was confirmed by former Riverside Police Chief Tom Weitzel, saying the state's attorney's office often will not approve aggravated battery charges unless other charges are involved. For that to happen, something else may occur, such as a disturbance, disorderly conduct, some public event. It's not always the case, but it's the norm. In fact, since 2022, prosecutors have approved only 17 cases for CPD that included no charge other than aggravated battery in a public place. So it's rare, not to mention upgrading misdemeanor charges to a felony against anybody for any reason is rare, except, if it's honky doing something illegal. And again, this is not to absolve William Sweats. This is to have the larger conversation about what the rule of law looks like when it's race-based. And it's to raise the specter, which is an obvious one, which we've raised innumerable times, but needs to be raised again. Is this what you want? This is what you think justice is? Or retribution, compensation in some form for past wrongs? So for whatever past wrongs whites committed against blacks, whites in uniform, whites in positions of governmental authority against blacks where they were wrong, the response is to do the same thing. And that gets us where?
312-642-5600. I'm surprised she didn't want to try to upgrade the charges to a hate crime as well, considering she got the vibe that he didn't like black people.
I'm watching his hands because he looked, no offense. Hey, no offense, but I think you're racist. No offense, but he looked like someone who doesn't like black people. And
no priors, by the way.
Anybody want Kim Fox to develop that statement a little bit? Give us some more detail there. Color that in for us, won't you?
And then there's real victims out there that are rape victims, assault, carjack victims. And I don't feel like she's a victim in this. And they're out on electronic monitoring. This guy's out on electronic monitoring too. But the fact that, she bigfooted Flossmoor police to upgrade the charges, another abuse of power.
Again, the assailant instigated this confrontation. She's walking sensibly in the middle of the road rather than on the sidewalk that she jumped to. She shouldn't have been. Should he roll up on her and say, "Get out the road, bitch"? No. She flips him off. Should he do a full reverse, have more words, throw a drink on her? No. Is this aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and aggravated battery in a public place? Not normally. Not normally in Cook County. Not under this prosecutor.
But it is if the prosecutor's attacked.
Brian in Westchester.
Yes. Where were the violent interrupters? Why were they not called? The social workers and the mental health workers. Did Kim Fox not call them?
Yeah, right. Thanks for the call, Brian. Greg in Jefferson Park.
Hey, good morning, honkies.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what? I think Ludacris ought to make that song into a, how you got ringtones on phones? Need to put that as a horn tone on cars.
like
nice speakers.
Yeah.
Driving around the west side, all of a sudden 5 people hit their horn at different times. You got various versions of that. You'll have gunfights all over the place as a result of that.
Like the General Lee or something. Yeah, right.
Have a good one.
Thanks for the call, Greg.
Oh, my gosh. When he got arrested, too, there was 5 officers. Please. And he was also he had a big gulp with him.
They said we're going. They initially said we're going to try to make this as quick as possible. You're going to get hit with some misdemeanor charges, but then, as of course this circled around, and Kim Foxx was the victim. He was in custody for more than 48 hours. Felony charges, ankle bracelets, the works. Kevin, Ogden Dunes, Indiana.
This is a prime case of the fox guarding the henhouse of charges. Had that man Sweat grimaced a grin or snicker, he could have been charged with manslaughter. And my final point to explain to you people, you never go into a bad neighborhood. But if you do, you see that the white people are nervous driving. They don't want to have any confrontation with the denizens, and they do not hit the horn to create any kind of a road rage. The black people are the ones who hit the horn. The blacks are the honkers. The whites are the honkies.
Hi-oh.
Hey-o.
Thanks for the call, Kevin.
He got there, yeah.
Flossmoor's not a bad neighborhood, by the way. Kim Foxx doesn't live in a bad neighborhood, which makes this all the more over the top, I would say.
Such an abuse of power.
Yeah, the Kim Foxx rules. Somebody all of a sudden who believes in law and order. Hang 'em high, Kim Foxx, as we like to call her now, at least just for this specific case.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
Your show keeps me alive during the week. There's nobody I'd rather listen to between 5 and 9 in the morning than you guys.
On AM 560, The Answer.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
In the 2 years since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, abortion has become big business in Illinois, thanks to J.B. Pritzker. While other states have restricted abortions, Illinois has become a destination for women looking for abortions. You can help to reverse that trend by supporting a great organization called Preborn. Research shows that when pregnant girls or young women see their babies on an ultrasound, they are far more likely to choose life for that child. And Preborn provides ultrasounds for mothers facing crisis pregnancy centers. The cost of an ultrasound is just $28. That's it. That's all it takes to save the life of a baby. Your gift of $28 can give a mother who is abortion-minded the chance to see the truth of the baby that's growing inside her. For a gift of $140, you can do that for 5 moms and their babies. And maybe you're someone who has the means to give a gift of $15,000. If so, that's what it costs to purchase an ultrasound machine that can save the lives of thousands of babies for years to come. Regardless of what you're able to give, don't wait. Your gift to Preborn can make an immediate impact. To give that gift, just go to 560theanswer.com/preborn. That's all one word, 560theanswer.com/preborn, 560theanswer.com/preborn, or call 833-850-BABY. That's 833-850-2229.
This message is for anyone looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, even if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or taking anxiety meds. Here's an example. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe overweight with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost about $200 a month. We're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. If you've had prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Get a quick quote by calling Term Provider at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225. If you're looking for term life insurance but have type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, or have other health issues, call Term Provider at 800-777-1225 or visit termprovider.com. Termprovider.com.
All right, this summer, don't forget your Balance of Nature supplements. Remember, hot dogs, burgers, brats. That's not going to provide you any fruits and veggies that your body desperately needs every day to stay healthy, happy, and energized. That's why I've been supplementing with Balance of Nature for nearly a decade. I crave it. Quinn McCarthy thinks I'm addicted to it, which I am. It's so easy to open up the individual capsules and dust them over a salad or mix them into warm water. That's how I do it. And thousands of AM 560 listeners love their Balance of Nature, and you will too. 6 capsules a day provides your body, heart, and mind with over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables. You'll love it, and your body, mind, and heart will thank you for it. And if you've thought about taking a Balance of Nature, now's the time to do it. Why? 50% off, half off your fruits and veggies. Here's what you do. Call this number, 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use coupon code Chicago to save 50% off your first set and free shipping when you sign up as a new preferred customer. 800-246-8751 or online at balanceofnature.com. Be sure to use coupon code Chicago. Hurry, this is a limited time offer while supplies last.
This is Sean Thompson. When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have somebody else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement, but you don't have a plan customized to your goals, it's like kind of taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in the suitcase. Sounds like a stressful way to begin what should be a relaxing time. Tom Fortino at Alpha Wealth Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to reduce future taxes, address Social Security and health care, and a whole lot more, all with a clear, defined income strategy. Call the Alpha Wealth Group at 630-934-1855. Ask for the complimentary retirement plan. That's 630-934-1855 or online at alphawealthgroup.com. And listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. right here on AM 560.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, I have to tell you, last night was beautiful. My favorite moment, because we always, there was the Gold Star families, and we'll get to that. That was just beautiful and touching. But Kai Madison Trump is President Trump's oldest granddaughter, and she spoke yesterday, and his face just lit up. It just shows that he's a real man. It showed the softer side of President Trump.
He calls me during the middle of the school day to ask how my golf game is going and tells me all about his. But then I have to remind him that I'm in school and I'll have to call him back later. When we play golf together, if I'm not on his team, he'll try to get inside of my head. I know. And he's always surprised that I don't let him get to me. But I have to remind him I'm a Trump too. Even when he's going through all of these court cases, he always asks me how I'm doing. He always encourages me to push myself to be the most successful person I can be. Obviously, he sets the bar pretty high, but who knows? Maybe one day I'll catch him.
Are you being moved, Dan?
On Saturday, I was shocked when I heard that he has been shot, and I just wanted to know if he was okay. It was heartbreaking that someone would do that to another person. A lot of people have put my grandpa through hell, and he's still standing. You are such an inspiration, and I love you.
I mean, she's 17 years old. Her first time public speaking into a very large crowd, and millions were watching at home. So good for her.
Very poised. No, very good. I like the anecdote about the exchanges about golf. Of course.
I'm glad she's golfing.
I bet Kai could beat Joe Biden, even though he's a 6 or an 8.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Former FBI agent Thomas Baker was the first FBI agent on the scene and the manager of the investigation of the assassination attempt against President Reagan. Lessons learned from that assassination investigation that are applicable to the current one at 7:37 with Thomas Baker.
But now into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
7:32, 63 degrees. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance accepting the GOP nomination for vice president.
And I'm overwhelmed with gratitude to say, I officially accept your nomination to be vice president of the United States of America.
Vance praising his running mate Donald Trump, saying Trump has given everything he has to fight for this country. Vance made the case why the GOP needs to take the White House, arguing America needs a party committed to free speech, and impressed Delegate John from Alaska.
He's come from a working class background. He's from the heartland of America. He's just fantastic. He's pulled himself up by his bootstraps.
Tune in right here on AM 560, beginning at 7 tonight for the last night of the Republican National Convention, and Donald Trump will take center stage. President Biden has tested positive for COVID-19, according to the White House, who says Biden tested positive following an event in Las Vegas. New Jersey Democrat Senator Bob Menendez is telling allies he may resign as soon as today, following his guilty plea or his being found guilty in his federal corruption trial. NBC News reports Menendez made that decision following the verdict on Wednesday. The co-founder of the Orlando Magic has passed away. NBA team posting news announcing the death of Pat Williams at the age of 84. ComEd and state police saying I-55 near Shanahan in both directions has been reopened this morning after being shut down for several days as ComEd worked to remove fallen power lines. The number of tornadoes that hit the Chicago area this week growing to 19 across the region from Monday's storms. Survivors and relatives of victims of the Highland Park July 4 parade shooting are now suing the Illinois State Police. A lawsuit accuses the state police of negligence for allowing shooting suspect Robert Cremo III to obtain a gun. Chicago Fire pull off an upset win with a 1-0 victory over Cincinnati. Inter Miami is coming up on Saturday. The news service of Del Bacchio Marchetti Group of Ant Properties, Christie's International Real Estate, experts in the northwest suburbs and Chicago. With over $800 million in sales, you'll get the most value for your home. 708-828-0000. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This week, the eyes of the nation will turn to Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention. At AM 560, The Answer will provide gavel-to-gavel coverage each night, beginning at 7 p.m., presented by 120 Life. Hear all of the speeches, and then instant analysis from AM 560's Bruce Dumont, Jeannie Ives, and John Anthony. And they'll be taking your calls with your reaction. Don't miss a moment as the Republicans officially nominate Donald Trump right here on your election station. AM 560, The Answer.
As everyone can tell, we're living in turbulent times. During times of uncertainty like World War II and 9/11, people have often turned to God. In times like these, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville, Illinois reminds all Americans of the ancient promise found in 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. This is not a political statement. It's a call to all God-fearing Americans to do as God's Word instructs. America needs healing now. Whether you're for the guy on the left or the right or neither, everyone needs to heed the Word of God as 2 Chronicles instructs us. May God bless all our leaders and God bless the USA. This message is brought to you by Fox Valley Coins on Route 59, Naperville, Illinois.
Hey, if you're in the market for a rifle, a shotgun, or a revolver, you definitely want to go with the best in the business. And as far as I'm concerned, that's only one place, Henry Repeating Arms. You're going to be amazed by the quality craftsmanship, the buttery smooth action. It makes them a pleasure to shoot. Every one of my Henrys accurate right out of the box. They've all been reliable ever since. Now, the best way to learn about Henry's 200 models, just go to their website. It's one word, henryusa.com. You'll get a free catalog. They'll send you free decals, a list of dealers where you are, and they have a great newsletter as well, and they showcase their made-in-America firearms. Henrys are backed by a lifetime warranty, 100% satisfaction. Made in America, not made at all. That simple. And if you have questions, you can call their award-winning customer service department. Speak with an expert that will help you. Make sure you go to henryusa.com, get your free catalog, free decals, a list of dealers where you are. henryusa.com, a great American company.
Support our police and hire the police to personally protect you. You've watched the news. Rising crime has been affecting our everyday lives in Illinois more and more these days. Blue Star Security can protect you, your business, or your place of worship. Blue Star Security is the only security company in Chicago with over 900 off-duty police officers, all W-2 employees.
I'm Anthony Varchetto, president of Blue Star Security and a 20-year law enforcement veteran. The Blue Star team is made up of over 900 state-certified active and retired law enforcement professionals. We serve businesses and private organizations with supply chain and special event security, and also protect our loved ones at places of worship and schools all across the Chicagoland area. Blue Star Security's technology allows mobilization of off-duty officers quickly and efficiently. Our primary mission is to provide unparalleled protective services for each assignment with integrity, while maintaining our commitment to community service in the Chicagoland area.
Visit online to schedule a free security consultation at BlueStarSecurityLLC.com. That's BlueStarSecurityLLC.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
7:39. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. In this update, a service of Windy City Safes. What are you doing to keep your most prized possessions safe? A safe, Windy City Safes, is Chicagoland's only Liberty Safe dealer. Visit the Niles showroom, call 224-LOCKBOX, or online at windycitysafes.com. Elk Grove Village, an accident, Arlington Heights Road and Landmeyer. Fallen power cables being cleared out of your way. US 52 west of Briggs and Joliet. Elmhurst, an accident. York, an industrial. Elgin, report of an accident. Larkin and Edison. On the expressways, nothing too bad right now. The best news of the day is that I-55 near Shanahan has been reopened in both directions. Illinois State Police confirm. The Stevenson is heavy and slow from the Veterans, I-355 into Lamont Road, 1 hour into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Sunny, breezy, and pleasant today. High of 75. Clear with a moonlit overnight and 59 for a low. Right now, mostly sunny and 63. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. It's remarkable to me how difficult it is for particularly government commissars to learn this obvious lesson that you see having to be learned the hard way over and over and over again. The more you deflect, try to cover up, try to protect the shield, the more absurd you look, the more damage to your credibility you do. Forthrightness is always the best policy, and the memes are coming fast and furious against the Secret Service, turning that agency into a laughingstock, and it shouldn't be a laughingstock. I don't think it's a laughingstock, especially for the rank and file that we talk about all the time. But the leadership of these institutions is so tone deaf. I mean, there's a meme. I mean, this is I'm certainly seen them. You see a sniper on the sloped roof of the White House. You see a cow on a sloped roof that looks very similar to the building from which the shooter took a shot on Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania. This meme, Tom Cruise on the phone from Mission Impossible. Your mission, should you choose to decide to accept it. Excuse me, but did you say there's a sloped roof?
Oh. And then Mike Scott sent us one with a
Santa Claus
saying, sorry, I have sloped roof.
Sorry, kids, no presents, sloped roof. I mean, so these, rather than these bull jive excuses, bring people along. This was a conversation we had with FBI criminal profiler retired Jim Fitzgerald, who broke the Unabomber case. Conversation we had with Tim McCarthy, retired Secret Service, who took a bullet for Reagan yesterday. I mean, you have all of these professionals. Maybe it's just a bygone era because, of course, we're talking to retired agents and executives at these agencies. Maybe it has something to do with the current crop of leadership and the current leadership culture in America, particularly as it pertains to the public sector. I don't know. But the Secret Service is not affording itself well, and neither is its director, Kim Cheadle, who was at the RNC yesterday, as we mentioned a bit earlier in the show. She is encircled by Republican senators, Barrasso from Wyoming, Langford from Oklahoma, and Marsha Blackburn in particular, who was particularly pronounced from Tennessee, basically saying we want answers. And particularly we want answers after this report yesterday that there was a credible threat that Secret Service had identified 10 minutes before Donald Trump took the stage. So now, in addition to how do you not do something so basic as secure an elevated position, why do you let Trump go on stage if there's a credible threat 10 minutes before he's set to speak? This was part of what happened after Director Cheadle said, this is the wrong venue to ask any questions. I'm here in this hospitality suite to thank our partners in providing the security for the RNC, and now I'm leaving. We'll do this at an appropriate place and time. And the senators followed her, asking like reporters asking questions of the Secret Service director as she is walking away from them.
This is exactly what you were doing today on the call.
Stonewalling. Attempt. You owe the people answers. You owe President Trump.
It's hard to see how this ends well for Kimberly Cheadle, and perhaps it shouldn't in terms of her keeping her job. But, of course, this is not just about the director. It's about the institution itself. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by retired FBI special agent and legal attaché Thomas Baker. He is also the author of The Fall of the FBI, How a Once Great Agency Became a Threat to Democracy. Thomas Baker, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Good to be with you, Dan and Amy, again.
So before we get to your most interesting piece from the Wall Street Journal about your experience investigating the Reagan assassination attempt in 1981, what is your reaction in real time to what we have seen from Director Cheadle and Secret Service and FBI to this point?
Well, unfortunately, and I think you touched on it, it's the current environment, the current overriding environment of promoting people and selecting people based on this new DEI concept. Quite frankly, in the past, and in the past in my time and in 20 or 30 years since the Reagan assassination attempt, there always has been close cooperation, not only between the FBI and the Secret Service, but between these federal agencies and their state and local partners. And in the United States, the nature of our democracy, our republic is law enforcement is overwhelmingly carried out by state and local authorities. And the federal agencies to succeed have to have a close working relationship with them. And in my article, before some of this latest stuff even came out, my article on Monday morning in the Wall Street Journal pointed that out, that the key in the Reagan, in the immediate investigation of Reagan's shooting, was the close relationship that all the law enforcement agencies involved that day had with one another, and how they worked together in harmony. And that has to keep up. That obviously is not the case now. It's certainly not the case with the Secret Service. They certainly didn't utilize or enlist the state and locals. And there you had a typical situation in that part of Pennsylvania, in Butler, Pennsylvania. You had a small town police, you had a county sheriff's office, and of course you had the Pennsylvania State Police. And they had to all work together. And it seems that was not the case.
Well, the commissioner of Butler Township said they had 7 officers there. They were in charge of traffic. And he came out swinging yesterday because he's sick of, the Secret Service director, Kim Cheadle, saying it was their responsibility to secure that roof. Whose responsibility is that ultimately?
Well, security of the president and the other designated people, presidential candidates, former presidents, etc. It's the Secret Service. And they're in charge of setting it up. That they can't duck that. She can't duck that.
She's trying.
You, in your piece, I may mention of it, but I'll repeat. You were the first FBI agent on the scene. You were the manager of the investigation into President Reagan's the failed assassination attempt of President Reagan by John Hinckley. And the lessons learned. One of them I thought was interesting. You talked about how defensive the Secret Service was as you pursued your investigation of that failed assassination attempt back 40 years ago. Just sort of describe how that investigation went and lessons that are applicable today, even if they're not being currently applied.
Well, there's a lot of lessons applicable, and I already touched on one, and I'll repeat myself again. The key thing that came out of that was the importance of knowing your counterparts and having good relationships with your counterparts. When President Reagan was shot, I was the first FBI agent on the scene, and the head of the Secret Service in Washington at that time, a guy named Powers, and the head of the homicide investigation unit for the Washington Metropolitan Police, an officer, Jimmy Wilson, a captain at that time. They immediately knew me. I knew them personally because we had worked on other projects together. They recognized me immediately. Then the director of security at the hotel, Al Fury, who was a former policeman himself, he was right there, and he gave us several suites to use as a forward command post. So at the end of the day, the key lesson we learned from that is the importance of knowing your counterparts, working together. We had worked together in planning for the inaugural back then, and then it was done at the field office level. Today it's even more elaborate, the planning that the FBI and other law enforcement organizations engage in planning for major events.
Well, yeah, that's all well and good, but the part about the Secret Service trying to cover their behinds, and then you have that, so you got along well, but there was still a moment where you had to make a decision.
Absolutely. So in the follow-up investigation, that was clearly, and the law by then made it very clear that was the FBI's responsibility, the investigation of the attack on the president. And we, as a matter of just building goodwill, we provided the results of our investigation as it went. The agents, FD-302 is the form that FBI agents record their investigation on, to the Secret Service as we went. And at a certain point, I was approached by a very senior Secret Service executive in Washington who told me literally, quote unquote, you're going to have to change some of the 302s. They make the service look bad. That's how they refer to the Secret Service, the people inside, just as the service. And as he started to tell me that, I said, no, we don't do that. We can't do that. The FD-302 that each agent writes is that agent's observations, what they heard, what they saw. I can't as a supervisor change what they said, and that was that. And And they persisted for a while in that. I didn't go into all those details in the newspaper article, but we stood our ground on that. And some of the things were, of course, stuff that had happened right before the actual shooting of Reagan, where Al Fury, as I mentioned his name before, was involved. He had asked them to use a side entrance where they could drive the limousine right over into the ballroom area and unload and load the president there. He provided the rope, the little velvet rope that held back the press pool that's in one of the photographs. So all of that wound up in his interview, and there were other things, and that's what they want to change, and we couldn't change it, and that's how it was, Dan.
And what about the dissemination of details either from Secret Service or more probably appropriately the FBI, since they're the investigative lead here, the dissemination of details to the public? I mean, we've talked since Monday about the radio transmissions, the radio chatter between all of those on site in Butler, Pennsylvania on that day to get real time understanding of who was seeing what, who was saying what, and perhaps some context to why there was such a failure to secure that elevated position. And we talked to Tim McCarthy about it yesterday. He said, if I was the investigative lead at some point when I had when I had confidence, I had an understanding of what happened, I would provide that to the public. Is that your position too? I mean, at some point the public has to get some of the details here to believe in the credibility of whatever the investigation produces, don't they?
Yes, during and after, particularly. Tim was absolutely right in that. And in training for crisis management, and we even back then, we all went under training for this. People were in management positions in the FBI. One of the key things was when a crisis begins, you have to get some word out to the public. Part of your role is to calm the public. And the first thing I said when I arrived on the scene, there were press on the scene already. They approached me. I just made the simple statement, the FBI is here. The FBI is conducting the investigation. Later, there were much more detailed statements issued. And I think I know what you're getting at. Now, the top executives, like the director of Secret Service, they have to be more forthright. And that's not happening. And, of course, that antagonizes the general public. It antagonizes the media. And in this particular case, it antagonizes the people in the legislature who have a legitimate reason to ask and a legitimate reason to know. And then you get the words, and it's already being used, cover up. And that's what you don't want to have happen, but that's what seems to be happening now.
And it spawns conspiracy theories.
Exactly. Getting the truth. If you don't get the truth out there, if you don't get all the information out there that you can put out there, that void is going to be filled by rumors and conspiracy theories.
Right. Well, that said, how important is it to find a motive in this case?
Oh, well, that's part of the FBI investigation now after the fact. Just like we did in the Hinckley matter, we went back and retraced the steps of John Hinckley, the shooter there. And this 20-year-old man who clearly was the shooter in this instance, they're going to have to retrace his steps, all the people he was in contact with, to see if there was any possibility if he was involved with others. And that is ongoing. And as they can, that information they've gotten out needs to be made public. Now, so far, the criticism is not of this follow-up FBI investigation. The criticism is of the management of this major event by Secret Service on the scene. And I think it points to a bigger problem in our society, people being made heads of these agencies because of the liberal mantra of the day, or I should say leftist, not even liberal, of this DEI. This particular woman who's the head of Secret Service now, it's come out. She's a friend, a social friend of Dr. Jill, the First Lady. She's this kind of a promotion. This is very, very bad, very destructive, but this is the situation we find ourselves in today.
Yeah, Jill's not a doctor. The the John Hinckley letter to Jodie Foster that was left behind. Yeah. Do you think that would be made public today by today's FBI?
Well, it should be at some point in time. And as I said, and I gave a lot of details in the article about that particular thing, we were very conscious because we had been trained and heard about the assassination of John Kennedy, which happened 20 years earlier than the attack on Reagan, and how that was mishandled by all law enforcement involved in it, everybody, the Secret Service, the FBI, the Dallas police particularly, and we wanted to avoid that kind of catastrophe. So we wanted to forestall any evidence, I mean, not evidence, but any rumors of conspiracy where there was none. So before we entered that room to conduct the search, and we probably could have done a search because of the exigent circumstances immediately, but we wanted to delay. We secured the room, had an agent and a police officer outside the room, Hinckley's hotel room, and obtained a search warrant, and then searched the room by search warrant. But before we touched anything, we photographed and filmed the entire room, and then we dusted for fingerprints in the appropriate areas where there might be fingerprints, just in case another name came to the surface later on in the investigation. So we took all these extra steps to be sure everything was done by the book. And I think in a case like this, and this attempted assassination of Trump is the same thing. Everything has to be done by the book. So far, there's not a lot of criticism of the FBI's follow-up, except maybe the role Ray played yesterday in this very abbreviated briefing he and the Secret Service director gave to the senators. That was disgraceful. Nobody is happy about that. And that's really, boy, that should never happen.
Yeah, I mean, the salient point you make, conspiracy theories abound about JFK's assassination to this day, but there are no conspiracy theories that have gotten any platform, any traction with respect to Reagan shooting, because there's no suggestion of a cover-up, because people were brought along and information was disclosed, even as incredible as it was, like that Jodie Foster piece. Great piece. Thomas Baker, retired FBI special agent and legal attaché, author of The Fall of the FBI, How a Once Great Agency Became a Threat to Democracy. Thomas Baker, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan and Amy. Thank you both very much.
Yep, God bless. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to one of the Cheese State's very own, Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson. Joins us to talk RNC Day 3 at 8:08.
But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
The National Weather Service confirms more tornadoes may have hit the Chicago area. I-55 near Shanahan finally reopened in both directions. City of Chicago removes a homeless encampment ahead of the DNC, and Chicago police are searching for a missing 3-year-old boy. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Turning up the heat on the Secret Service. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I'm prepared this morning to call on President Biden to fire to Director Cheadle.
House Speaker Mike Johnson just told Fox Business it's clear Kimberly Cheadle is ignoring calls to resign after yesterday's private briefing on the Trump assassination attempt.
They did not give us satisfactory answers to some very important questions.
Cheadle will testify at a House hearing on Monday. Fox's Jonathan Seri reports from Butler, Pennsylvania. There's new video appearing to show
20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks lurking in the background of the rally about an hour before the gunfire erupted. Sources with knowledge of a closed briefing for senators say that was around the same time that law enforcement identified Crooks as a suspicious person.
And Crooks posted on a gaming website days before the shooting. July 13th will be his premiere. Watch as it unfolds. Former President Trump, his ear still bandaged, watched his running mate speak last night at the convention.
My message to you, my fellow Republicans, is we love this country and we are united to win.
J.D. Vance accepted the vice presidential nomination.
My work taught me that there is still so much talent and grit in the American heartland. There really
He
is.
wanted to show that he's an average guy who's been through a lot. He grew up dirt poor, he says, in Appalachia. His dad left his family when he was only 6 years old, and his mom struggled with addiction. She was there in that crowd beaming as he told Americans that he's been through it and says he's different than those D.C. elites.
Fox's Alexis McAdams in Milwaukee, where former President Trump will speak tonight. President Biden's recovering from COVID at home in Delaware after reports Democratic leaders, including Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, have told him privately in recent days that if he stays in the race amid concerns about the president's mental fitness, he'll lose the election and hurt Democrats down ballot. We just got an unemployment update. First-time jobless claims rose by 20,000 last week, and Americans still collecting benefits hit the highest number since November 2021. America's listening to Fox News.
It's 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. ComEd and State Police this morning provided a major update on I-55, opening both directions of the major artery near Channahon. However, power lines that have been cleared off that roadway still need to be repaired, as do transmission towers on both sides of the roadway. The number of tornadoes that struck the Chicago area this week is growing. 19, according to the National Weather Service, from Monday's storms, another 6 reported on Sunday. Black leaders from the Chicago area urging their communities to ditch Democrats and vote Republican. At the Republican National Convention yesterday, Pastor David Lowry Jr. with the Universal Baptist Church in Harvey.
Democrats have done or will they do across this country for black people, but use us. So why not black people? Let us give the Republicans a chance to show what they can do for our communities as well.
In other news, we're following survivors and relatives of victims of the Highland Park July 4th parade shooting are suing the Illinois State Police. Northwestern University will cite 4 people who took part in a pro-Palestinian encampment protest on campus this spring. Demonstrators camped on the lawn in protest of the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. The Illinois Department of Public Health reporting the first human case of West Nile in 2024 in Illinois. There were 119 human cases of West Nile virus reported last year. Fire pull off an upset victory with a 1-0 win over FC Cincinnati. Inter Miami is on Saturday. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. And now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The NASDAQ appears to be recovering a little ground today. It declined 2.8% yesterday, the largest one-day decline since December of 2022. Pharma company Novartis says its sales rose in the recent quarter and it's raising its forecast. Novartis makes heart medication Entresto. Domino's is reporting an upbeat quarter, though the stock is lower. Tractor and heavy machinery maker Deere is pulling back its diversity initiatives after a backlash from conservative activist Robbie Starbuck, though Deere pledged to continue to track and advance the diversity of the organization. Now the National Black Farmers Association is calling for a boycott of Deere, calling the move a step in the wrong direction on diversity and inclusion. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This week on The Hill is the best way to get informed on everything going on with Congress. Hosted by Tony Perkins and the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
What President Biden is engaging in is lawlessness. What's happened with the open border policy is they've allowed everybody in. By our count, it may be as many 16 million illegal aliens.
Stay informed and become a regular listener. This week on The Hill, Sundays at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, folks. I just can't help thinking of our stress levels. And high blood pressure is the #1 key risk factor for mortality. In fact, 1 in 2 Americans walking around have high blood pressure. That's a ticking time bomb. But thankfully, it's never been easier to take control of your blood pressure. With 120 Life, a truly remarkable natural juice blend that can actually help you lower your blood pressure without the side effects of taking pills every day. 120 Life is formulated with scientifically backed ingredients from superfruits, berries, and minerals that have been shown to naturally help control high blood pressure. And it works. It's endorsed by over 70 health professionals, and I assure you, that's not fake news. I use it myself. I love it. You can try it for yourself risk-free with their 2-week trial. Just go to 120 Life and use the coupon code LIBERTY to save 15% and receive free shipping. If 120 Life doesn't help lower your blood pressure in 2 weeks, they give you your money back. It's guaranteed. Go to 120life.com. That's 120life.com. Go to 120life.com today.
Hey, if you're in the market for a rifle, a shotgun, or a revolver, you definitely want to go with the best in the business. And as far as I'm concerned, that's only one place, Henry Repeating Arms. You're going to be amazed by the quality craftsmanship, the buttery smooth action. It makes them a pleasure to shoot. Every one of my Henrys accurate right out of the box. They've all been reliable ever since. Now, the best way to learn about Henry's 200 models, just go to their website. It's one word, henryusa.com. You'll get a free catalog. They'll send you free decals, a list of dealers where you are, and they have a great newsletter as well, and they showcase their made-in-America firearms. Now, Henrys are backed by a lifetime warranty, 100% satisfaction. Made in America, not made at all. That simple. And if you have questions, you can call their award-winning customer service department. Speak with an expert that will help you. Make sure you go to henryusa.com, get your free catalog, free decals, a list of dealers where you are, henryusa.com, a great American company.
If you maintain an industrial plant, you know your dust collection systems are a vital part of the operation of your plant. Without them, things can get dusty quick. And when your dust collection system malfunctions, the downtime can cost your plant money. Time to call the professionals at Vans Industrial for help.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. At Vans, we work with many different types and sizes of dust collectors, from 1,000 CFM to 100,000 CFM. If your system needs housing repair, tube sheet, pulse valves, ductwork, or collection hoods, give us a call. Schedule an inspection today to keep things running smoothly and avoid costly downtime. And when you're ready for a new dust collector, we can design your system from the collection hoods to the stat for plants of all size applications.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics insured at the highest level to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web, vansindustrial.com.
8:08. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Turnkey.pro for less than the price of a monthly car payment. Turnkey will fully protect your network with up-to-date cyber protection, unlimited backup, unlimited 24/7 help desk support, and real-time threat hunting. Protect your small business today. Visit Turnkey.pro. Elmhurst and Accident, York and Industrial. Bolingbrook, traffic signals are dark. Weber, north of Boughton Road. Traveling on the Veterans Memorial Toll this morning, I-355, jamming up northbound between 75th and the Reagan. Dan Ryan Express lanes jam solid 47th up through the Stevenson. Best news of the morning, I-55 near Shanahan reopened in both directions. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Mostly sunny, breezy, beautiful day. High today at 75. Clear skies for tonight and a low 59. Sunny and pleasant tomorrow, the high 82. And then partly sunny on Saturday, the high Saturday 83. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Currently 63 at O'Hare, 65 at Midway. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Saturday mornings at 11. Visit healthquestradio.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Just another addition to the "you cannot make this stuff up" file. Sue Mi Terry is the wife of Amazon Post columnist Max Boot, who used to write for the Wall Street Journal. He is a virulent anti-Trumper, never-Trumper. Basically, like so many never-Trumpers, he's exposed himself as not much of a conservative, never was, sort of was pantomiming conservatism. You can disagree with Trump on substantive issues, but these never-Trumpers have taken it so far, as we've seen with former congresswomen from Illinois and others in the intelligentsia like Bill Kristol. You can go, it becomes obvious that you were never more than a cipher. You were never more than occupying a market position for your own personal gain, status, some combination of the two. So Max Boot was running around for the last how many ever years saying what so many of the never-Trumpers were saying before they were taken away by authorities for being pedophiles, for example, like the Lincoln Project leadership.
Yep.
I mean, incredible. He was saying Trump is the Manchurian candidate of one Vlad Putin. All the while, Max Boot, this Bezos Post columnist, was sleeping next to what the federal government now alleges is a CIA double agent. His wife, Sue Mi Terry, has been charged, indicted, for failing to register as a foreign agent and conspiracy to violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act, according to an indictment that was made public this week in Manhattan. She promoted South Korea policy positions, disclosed non-public U.S. government information to South Korean intelligence officers, and facilitated access for South Korean government officials to their American counterparts in return for luxury gifts like $3,000 handbags and $2,800 Dolce & Gabbana coats and Michelin star-rated restaurant dinners, as well as $37,000 in covert funding for a public policy program focused on Korean affairs. Now, I understand South Korea is an ally of the United States, but that doesn't obviously mean that you can be a CIA analyst working on behalf of a foreign government, obviously. So, I mean, does Trump have voodoo dolls of these people? And he just decides which one he's going to poke today, where their world comes just crushing, and the world comes crashing down around them because their hypocrisy is exposed. It's just unbelievable. Who's compromised? Is it everybody that has sort of unhinged vitriol in the direction of Trump and otherwise, well-credentialed, educated people that traffic in the most fact-free conspiracy theories about him? Is it Trump or is it them? And time and again, we find out it's them. It's astounding. One can only wait to see what is ultimately revealed about the John Brennans and Jim Clap on, Clap off, Clap on, Clap off, James Clapper and Jim Comey and what don't we know about Peter? So many of these people. I just can't wait for the reckoning. It should be coming in the not too distant future. Martin Gurry is a former CIA analyst himself, presently a visiting fellow at the Mercatus Center, George Mason University, and author of The Revolt of the Public and the Crisis of Authority in the New Millennium. Martin Gurry, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Martin,
Hello, Martin.
Are you with us?
I'm here.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us. How about this? I mean, we find out that Trump's CIA director, who succeeded Mike Pompeo, Gina Haspel, was involved in the Hunter Biden disinformation letter to characterize the Hunter laptop as a classic Russian information campaign. Trump's CIA director was involved in that in advance of the 2020 election. And it's just more of the same. Every time you turn around, somebody that is supposed to occupy the moral high ground is protecting our democracy, turns out to be in the process of attempting to undermine it and hoodwink the public about one thing or the other, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I spent my career as an analyst in CIA, and I cannot begin to tell you how unlike that is to anything I experienced from anybody who was in high executive level at that agency. I mean, you were supposed to be like a political nothing, a political eunuch, okay? Because you knew that if you even were perceived as favoring one side over the other, all your intelligence, all your analysis would be questioned. It would be tainted. So everything that's happening now is unparalleled. I was there a long, long time. It's unparalleled. It's never happened before. And honestly, the idea of Max Boot, who is one of my favorite people that I always go to for crazy quotes, his wife being an agent, it's just another instance of what seems to be projection, right? They accuse the other side of trying to destroy democracy, and then meanwhile they're erecting these censorship apparatuses so that people can't actually see what's online if they disagree with it.
So, I mean, we're taking stock now. We've had to take stock of all these agencies over the last 8 years. Wait, what does the FBI look like today? What does Secret Service look like? Obviously, after what happened on Saturday, the failed assassination attempt. I mean, what is your and we've talked a lot about this. Actually, I just did a podcast interview with Hugh Wolford, who's written a book about the history of the CIA. And again, there have been failures of all these agencies throughout the years, and bad actors within these agencies throughout the years, spies for America's enemies. That has happened, not consistently, but there have been these failures, and you understand these are human institutions governed by humans. There are going to be mistakes. There are going to be failures. There are going to be bad actors. But I mean, sort of culturally is what we're getting to. What is your assessment of your former agency today?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a systemic failure. I think, honestly, the job of the CIA is an impossible one. It's supposed to be this prophetic institution that tells the President of the United States what's going to happen tomorrow. Well, nobody knows, right? So many of the failures of the past that you mentioned is the fact that the job description is an impossibility. What's happening now is systemic corruption and systemic failure, an entirely different thing, which is using these the prestige of these institutions, and being inside and outside of CIA is very funny, because inside it just feels like a bureaucracy. Outside it's like this monstrous thing that controls the world. So that prestige of that organization is being turned to completely base political ends, it seems to me, in a way that, like I said before, has never happened, and should never happen. And what to do with them, that's a really good question.
Well, part of it is, and this was my conversation with Professor Wilford, actually, is something you just mentioned, the scope of the state admission is too vast. And like with many of these agencies, it needs to be pared down. There needs to be some mission focus here, clearly defined mission within the bounds of what is possible, and that would go a long way to correct the agency creep, and then the politics that creeps in along with the agency creep.
Yeah, I agree with that for any number of reasons. Even when I was in there, and I've been gone a bit, and it's an open number, I'm not revealing any secrets, there used to be every year around 60,000 documents of analytic intelligence. 60,000. Who reads that stuff, right? This was. I had a friend at CIA who said, this is a middle class kind of job security agency. Most of the people there were writing for themselves.
Well, I want to move on to an article that you wrote about the end of Joe Biden and the Democratic establishment. Now we're learning this morning, Joe Biden's canceling all campaign events because he has a runny nose. You think that the walls are now for sure closing in on this man?
Yeah. I mean, Biden is such an accidental human, right? I mean, he is where he is because of a huge series of accidents having to do with Obama picking him, and then the establishment turning to him in desperation because, Bernie Sanders was about to win the nomination. I think you never know. A person like that, some new event can change, but he is such a deteriorated old man, and has been for many years, by the way. This is not a big surprise to anybody except those who were purposefully trying to convey a fantasy Biden world, of which he was this towering figure. I find it hard. I don't see how he can move forward. He chose wisely for his vice president, who is Kamala Harris. So there's that moment of hesitation. Do you really want to be saddled with this lady as your candidate? But he's even worse, apparently.
You also offered a message to friends and colleagues on the other side of the political divide, those who are running around, I guess, promoting what the adopted positions of MSNBC, that Trump is a threat to democracy. He plans to be a dictator on day one. There are going to be death squads. Maybe that's what the CIA will be turned into, political death squads on Trump's watch. What's your message to those who are platforming that propaganda?
First of all, I mean, I'm an independent, I guess you would call it. I hate that word because it makes you sound like you have no opinions. I have strong opinions about what should be, but no party really represents my opinions. So that's where I speak from. It seems to me the first thing we have to understand is that this country, I mean, I'm also an immigrant. I come from Cuba. If you look out the window that I'm currently looking out, as I speak to you, I see this very peaceful suburban neighborhood, people walking their dogs. If you turn to the laptop, which is also in front of me, I see this America that is completely horrific, and people are going to, as you say, going to be throwing each other in prison, maybe shooting each other, maybe overthrowing democracy and setting up a Hitler-style democracy. Okay. Look at the window. Don't look at the laptop, okay? Look at the real America and see the humanity of your opponents. I mean, even people like Joe Biden, that I'm very opposed to because of many of his policies. I mean, he's a human being. You need to deal with people from a sense of human decency. And frankly, I mean, my concern with Trump has always been that he has this kind of like fighter's instinct, and it seems to be lacking a little bit in that.
Look out the window, not at your laptop. That's pretty good. I like that. That's a good turn of a phrase. Martin Gurry, former CIA analyst, presently a visiting fellow at the Mercatus Center of George Mason University, author of the book "The Revolt of the Public and the Crisis of Authority in the New Millennium." Martin Gurry, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
It's been fun.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Keene Jr. of the Mail House, Inc., a family-owned and operated digital print mail house with a specialty in political advertising and a customer of Signature Bank. We knew that getting a loan to buy our business wouldn't be easy, so we turned to one of our trusted friends for a referral. She told us about the outstanding level of customer service her business received at Signature Bank since becoming one of their first customers in 2006. Today, we couldn't be happier. Not only did Signature help us finance the purchase of the mail house, but they supported our growth as we modernized our operations in mailing as well as from traditional to digital printing. If you're looking for a great bank to grow your business, take a look at Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All right, when you're in chronic pain, you're really no fun to be around, and the people around you are miserable. So don't live like that any longer. Call our good friends at QC Kinetics. You have arthritic pain in your joints, in your hip, your back, your elbow, your shoulder, or if you have an injury. Excuse me, Dan, I'm doing a live read over here. Thank you. Talk into the microphone, please.
What's that? My hip, my back, my... Like that. What was that? What was that song? My neck, my back lyrics. Remember that song? It was popular for a minute. It was very graphic though. It was like my neck, my back, lick my something and my something.
Okay, well that's not.
But that's
what
not QC Kinetics. No,
I'm going to have to say no. Well, people that don't want surgery and don't want to take off vacation time from work for surgery and for a lengthy recovery. There is another option, and it's QC Kinetics. You use your own body's regenerative factors, and it will help lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics Advanced Treatment harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. That's what I was trying to say. So that you can get your life back. You can walk and run, play golf, play pickleball, move again, and you won't be miserable. Here's what you do. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. They'll walk you through the process better than I can, better than Dan singing that goofy song he just sang. Wow. They're open on Saturdays, and they have new locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. The number to call, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Being active is important to me. As you get older, it gets a little harder every year. But if I had to get rid of all my other supplements, the one thing that I would continue to take in my life is Balance of Nature.
I've been taking Balance of Nature for a little over a year. It is important to have fruits and vegetables, and how convenient you got them in a capsule. Who doesn't love that? I'm going to continue to take it. Why stop something that makes you feel good?
Time's ticking on your summer savings. Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Don't miss out. This week's your last chance to claim this offer. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
IT support, how can we help?
Hey there, we have a huge problem. Our network crashed and our entire assembly line is down. We're losing thousands of dollars an hour. Can you help?
Please hold.
What do they say?
They put me on hold.
We gotta get this line back running now.
IT support, who are you holding for, please?
Oh, hi. I need help. My network is down. I've been on hold for over...
Sorry, wrong call. Please hold again.
Sound familiar? Don't let a network problem cost your business thousands of dollars. Turnkey is the champion of small businesses. For the price of a monthly car payment, Turnkey will fully protect your network with the most secure, up-to-date cyber protection, unlimited backup, unlimited 24/7 help desk support, and real-time threat hunting. All by world-class technicians who really care about helping people. Protect your small business today. Visit turnkey.pro today.
Hi, I'm Charlie Moon. I've been in the trading game for almost 20 years, and I just discovered the most powerful trading tool I've ever seen. So if you're trading stocks or options, then listen up. This new AI-powered trade finder can find you stocks to consider trading, which have had gains as high as 1,729% and have had nearly perfect win rates. It analyzes the entire stock market in seconds and pumps out a list of trades for you to consider every single morning. And the trades it finds can be potentially profitable regardless of which direction the market is moving. So if you want in on this action, listen closely. For a short amount of time, I'm opening up free access to some of these picks and giving you the chance to get top trade ideas from the AI Trade Finder every day for 100% free. Just text TRADE to 76626. Stop trying to find the right stocks to trade on your own. Just text TRADE to 76626 now and get access to the top trades our AI finds every single day. Text TRADE to 76626. Standard text and data rates may apply. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Text TRADE to 76626.
This is Sean Thompson. When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have somebody else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement, but you don't have a plan customized to your goals, it's like kind of taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in the suitcase. Sounds like a stressful way to begin what should be a relaxing time. Tom Fortino at Alpha Wealth Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to reduce future taxes, address Social Security and health care, and a whole lot more, all with a clear, defined income strategy. Call the Alpha Wealth Group at 630-934-1855. Ask for the complimentary retirement plan. That's 630-934-1855 or online at alphawealthgroup.com. And listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. right here on AM 560.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
AM 560, The Answer.
You know how we were talking about the DJ booth that's been constructed at the red line stop at 95th and the Expressway?
Yeah, and I actually think that this is going to motivate you to take public transportation. You're obsessed with this. It's just so shocking for you to process.
It's stunning, and we've suggested that maybe just in the interest of equity, that the city hire the Bodines to play live at the Addison Red Line stop, and may put an orchestra pit in at the Metro stop in Indian Hill and so forth. But part of this, too, we were talking about potential statues outside of BLM Brandon's office on the 5th floor there because George Washington's got to go. I know he's not going yet, but he will. Also, music. Because if people are having a party, and what doesn't say party about government transportation plus a DJ, then you got to select the
tunes.
Yeah, you got to select the tunes.
Got to create the mood.
So I
what
know,
do you have?
I mean, I think it's obvious. 95th and the Dan Ryan.
Yeah.
Get this party started. And who gets a party started better than the Gap Band? Instead of beating people, right? Everybody's dancing.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
Remember that video? They did it on the beach in California, and they had these old people in like a boxing ring, but then instead of fighting, they were dancing.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be, forget the violence interrupters, forget the social workers. Obviously, go ahead and defund the police. You just need some Gap Band tunes on that L platform.
This is the way to fight crime. We're going to do it one song at a time.
All right, trying to help.
Yeah. Thanks. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Now we have Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson with a review of what has transpired at the RNC so far and what we can expect from President Trump tonight. That's at 8:38.
But first, we're going to stop by the newsroom once again. Here is Mike Scott.
I don't know. Maybe former Cook County Commissioner Jerry Iceman Butler could provide a tune or
The
two.
dulcet tones of Iceman Butler?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Maybe. 8:33 on AM 560, The Answer. Ohio's junior senator is now officially Donald Trump's running mate on the GOP presidential ticket. Fox's Kristen Goodwin this morning is in Milwaukee.
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance officially accepting the Republican.
Tonight is a night of hope, a celebration of what America once was, and with God's grace, what it will soon be again.
Reflecting on unity in the moments after the attempt on former President Trump's life.
When Donald Trump rose to his feet in that Pennsylvania field, all of America stood with him.
Also talking about his upbringing and what he's learned during his time in the Senate.
My message to you, my fellow Republicans, is we love this country and we are united to win.
Calling the evening a night of hope. From the RNC in Milwaukee, Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
As Donald Trump addresses the convention tonight, tune in here to AM 560, The Answer. Gavel-to-gavel coverage of the nightly festivities and all the speeches beginning at 7. President Biden is canceling campaign events. The White House says he's dealing with COVID-19. A heat wave across southern Europe is forcing authorities in Greece today to close the Acropolis. Meantime, 2 firefighters died in southern Italy trying to put out a major wildfire. Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gerskovich has attended a hearing behind closed doors in his trial on Russian espionage charges he denies. ComEd and state police say I-55 this morning near Shanahan has been reopened in both directions as ComEd uses heavy equipment to try to stabilize the high-tension power lines on both sides of that roadway.
Right here where we're standing now, the job is to make sure that we safely remove the infrastructure that's blocking I-55. It's a very involved process.
Northwestern University citing 4 people who took part in a pro-Palestinian encampment protest on campus this spring. And the Illinois Department of Public Health reporting the first human case of West Nile in 2024. There were 119 cases last year. Chicago sports. White Sox designate infielder Danny Mendick for assignment. White Sox back in action tomorrow after the All-Star break against the Royals, while the Cubs return to action against Arizona. The news, a service of Health Insurance Mentors. Are you 65 or older thinking about Medicare? Call Stephen Tucker today for free Medicare advice. HealthInsuranceMentors.com or call 630-674-1551. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says times have changed.
People don't trust the election. People don't trust the ballot counters. People don't trust the process. And I kind of think it's my job to point out that we have got procedures in place that are far different from 2020.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
When I came across Balance of Nature, I knew this is the product for me because it just smelled real. Balance of Nature has fruits and vegetables in the ingredients. With Balance of Nature, I feel great.
Hi, my name is Tina, and I love playing music. I really love my music. I love it because it makes me feel happy, puts me in another world. It's awesome. I started taking Balance of Nature 2 years ago. I love Balance of Nature. It makes me feel great.
Time's ticking on your summer savings. Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Don't miss out. This week's your last chance to claim this offer. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code Chicago.
If it's time for a new roof, your siding's looking old, you need new windows, gutters, or a reliable restoration company, trust me, AAA Roofing Contractors is who to call. They're the real deal. And speaking of deals, AAA offers a wide range of discounts, including military and healthcare provider discounts. And due to the recent storm, AAA Roofing Contractors is giving out free inspections in your neighborhood. The storm may have caused a lot of damage to your property, so please don't hesitate to reach out. AAA Roofing Contractors specializes specifically in insurance restoration claims. They're here to help you every step of the way so you get what you deserve. They value every shingle customer. In fact, they make sure clients are 100% satisfied. Schedule a free home improvement consultation now. Call 847-730-4026 or book online at arcroofinginc.com. Roofing, siding, gutters, windows. Family-owned AAA does it all and does it right and are insurance specialists. That's 847-730-4026. arcroofinginc.com.
Quick delivery service. What do you need delivered today?
Hi, I'm trying to work through a last-minute to-do list for my boss. Can you deliver a hard drive to the Loop in Chicago?
We can deliver that today.
Okay, can you deliver 20 boxes to a client in Rockford?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver 12 pallets of tile to our customer in Naperville?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver a large envelope to Northbrook?
We can deliver that today.
Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke. Can you?
We cannot deliver that.
Quick Delivery Service delivers your package no matter the size. More than just a messenger service, Quick Delivery Service is a messenger and trucking service that can also provide scheduled routes for your daily delivery or your air shipment. Trucks are equipped to handle the load and provide ground-level service for same-day delivery. The Quick Delivery Service team of safe, licensed professionals can provide quick door-to-door service for your special delivery. QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. We deliver that today. But we don't deliver this.
This hourly segment is brought to you by IDT. Eliminate paper files with the IoT Smart Connected Scanning Device. Find them at ready4IDT.com.
8:39. Let's get a check of the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. This update is service of Dairy Queen. Hey, DQ fans, behold the DQ freezer. Not just an ordinary freezer, but an extraordinary freezer holding all of the DQ Blizzard Tree flavors of the past. Now it's opening its doors for the salted caramel truffle Blizzard Tree, only at participating DQ locations. The Kennedys right now sitting in at 1 hour O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. The Ike inbound 39 from Manheim into the old post office. The Stevenson at 44 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Dan Ryan, 28 95th into the Circle. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast, sunny, breezy, high 75. Right now, 66. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So, obviously, J.D. Vance was the featured attraction last night, but politically, but in terms of emotional quotient, it was the Abbey Gate families, the Gold Star families who lost loved ones in that disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. And obviously, we don't have time to go through all of what each of them said. They were all powerful stories, of course, because they lost a loved one in service to this country. But Nicole, the mother-in-law of Nicole G., was one example. She was first up, and this is what she had to say.
Hello, America. I'm Christy Shamblin. My daughter-in-law, Sergeant Nicole Leanne G. Was a United States Marine, and she was killed at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan, alongside 12 of her brothers and sister-in-arms. While Joe Biden has refused to recognize their sacrifice, Donald Trump spent 6 hours in Bedminster with us. He allowed us to grieve. He allowed us to remember our heroes. Donald Trump knew all of our children's names. He knew their stories, and he spoke to us in a way that made us feel understood, like he knew our kids. Donald Trump carried the weight for a few hours with me. Yeah. And for the first time since Nicole's death, I felt I wasn't alone in my grief. Thank you. I had expected to meet an arrogant politician. Instead, I met a man who had empathy for us. He was compassionate, and he spent time with us because he knew it would make us feel better. Thank you, President Trump.
So he remembered their kids' names, and Joe Biden can't remember the name of his defense secretary.
And also, he said that military lives were lost during his time as president. That is a slap in the face to everyone. And the Hunter Lopez, who also died that day, his parents read all the names of the 13 who died. And then at the end, she said this, his mother.
Now, we have another son serving in the Army. And we do not trust Joe Biden with his life.
That was a pretty powerful moment.
That's about as big an indictment against the president as you can hear from a military family, isn't it? For more on what has transpired at the convention in Milwaukee the past 3 days and what we can anticipate tonight, pleased to be joined by Republican Senator from Wisconsin, Ron Johnson. Senator Johnson, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Morning, guys. Happy to be on.
Well, you addressed the convention, and you've been there, obviously, your home state. And what are some of the highlights for you? What are your takeaways after 3 days?
Well, what you just played there, certainly was an important moment. From my standpoint, yeah, it just shows really how completely unqualified, unfit President Biden is. But I've been saying for many years, since I've gotten to know Donald Trump, and I don't know him as well as people like Governor Sanders. I'll talk about that shortly here. But I've said if you spend some time with President Trump, you cannot not like him. And I think you heard that from those families. The mother of Miss G. He is a person who is engaging. He's compassionate. He's thoughtful. Obviously intelligent. Funny. He's an engaging individual. And his speech the night before was with Governor Sanders, who was his press secretary. Really spent a lot of time with President Trump, and she gave a testimony of who Donald Trump is. And that's the side of Donald Trump the mainstream media will never allow the vast majority of Americans to hear. So I truly hope that tonight President Trump just experienced a life-changing event. There's no way you could escape death, have a new lease on life, be part of an event where an American hero lost his life defending his family. There's no way you could be part of that and not have it change your life. And I just hope he just displays to the American public who he is as a person, as a human being, somebody who has deep compassion for the American people, wants to be president for every American, loves this country. And because he loves this country, he's subjecting himself to this, to the vilification, to the weaponization of government against him, to the risk to his life. And he's still doing it. I hope Americans understand the gravity and the importance of what that means.
And last night, J.D. Vance, a lot of us know who he is and what he's about, but he introduced himself to the world, so to speak. What does he bring to the ticket?
Well, first of all, I hate to lose him as a Senate colleague, and I think that says a lot, right? First of all, intelligence, integrity. He's highly articulate, as we saw last night, and certainly I've seen you. He doesn't talk all the time in the Senate, doesn't even talk all that much in our conference, but when he does, it's always intelligent. It always is thoughtful. It always adds to the conversation or discussion, never detracts from it. So President Trump had the luxury of a wealth of talent to choose from. I think he chose well, and what he brings to the ticket is his story. I mean, that is a rags to success type of story. It's the American dream, and I think that'll resonate with people here in Wisconsin. It should resonate throughout the upper Midwest, but I think throughout America.
I mean, since you have been you've provided such leadership on all things COVID policy related, it is rather ironic, yet we have another instance where, despite what Joe Biden said back in the day, which is this,
you're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Yeah. You can't get or give. Remember those heady days, Senator Johnson? And here we have Joe Biden, 8 or 10 boosters in, and he's got COVID again.
Yeah, they lied to us. They repeatedly lied to us. They knew the lipid nanoparticle would biodistribute all over the body. They knew that when it attached to a heart muscle, it would produce a spike protein that's a toxin. It's foreign to the body. The body would attack it. That would cause inflammation. We had Dr. Redfield in front of our committee 2 weeks ago. It was all on the origin and the danger of gain-of-function research, but because I had him in front of me, I walked him through this. And he admitted that people downplayed the vaccine injuries because they didn't want to create vaccine hesitancy, that they continue to ignore them or downplay the severity and the number of vaccine injuries. So I appreciate his honesty.
Yeah, it's difficult to get the straight story these days almost anywhere, and maybe again with respect to this failed assassination attempt on Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania. Your colleagues, I don't know if you were in that scrum, if you will. You were?
Not in the scrum with but I was part of the briefing.
The briefing, yeah.
Wednesday, 4 days after the attempted assassination, it was infuriating. They just went through a gobbledygook, timeline of 6 or 7 or 8 hours. I wanted to focus in on 5 o'clock to about 6:15. The only real news that came out of that was because out of 4 questions we got to ask, John Cornyn asked the best one. He said, "Well, when did the Secret Service when were they first aware of that?" That's where we found out. The Secret Service was aware of a potential threat before Donald Trump ever took the stage.
Right.
But there's so many questions remain unanswered, And the director, Cheadle, for her part, she said, well, there were mistakes and gaffes made. Yeah, mistakes and gaffes that led to the death of an American hero, almost the assassination of a former president, our president's candidate, grievous injuries to other people. No, she's got to go, but she needs to be held accountable first. We need to extract every piece of information in terms of her involvement before we, push her off the scene.
Yeah, well, she has definitely been embarrassing. But the other question, of course, FBI is the lead investigator on this. What kind of confidence do you have in Christopher Wray's agency that we're going to get the straight story and we're going to get information in a timely fashion to bring the public along?
Virtually none. What I have faith in is there are good people. Most of the people in the FBI are good. So hopefully they're the ones that, will override any kind of political considerations or any bearing of the truth. But no, I don't trust these federal agencies. I mean, they went with the Russian collusion hoax for how many years, even though they knew that was a political dirty trick by the Hillary Clinton campaign. They knew that the Steele dossier was a fabrication made up by people they were investigating as being a Russian spy. They've never apologized for that. Washington Post, these folks have never given back their Pulitzer Prizes. So no, I don't have a great deal to say. So they have to do the initial investigation. They got the tools. They have the personnel to do that. But Congress, we need to do complete oversight. We can leave no stone unturned. These people, quite honestly, the people involved ought to be brought into Congress now to give us transcribed interviews. We can agree to keep those things confidential until the FBI's investigation is over. But we need to get these people on record now, not just talking to the agencies, which I don't trust. We got to get them before congressional committees and start interviewing them now.
Yeah, and it seems to me something we've been talking about with former FBI, including Thomas Baker, who led the investigation into Reagan's failed assassination attempt, and former Secret Service Tim McCarthy, who took a bullet for Reagan, is something the FBI would do. But I mean, to your point about the Congress needing to run in parallel with the FBI, transcripts of all the radio transmissions, all the chatter between the relevant personnel in the hour to half hour that led up to that shooter opening fire.
Right. I've actually issued a letter, I think on Monday, demanding that they preserve all those records and demand that they turn those records over to us. So that's the table stakes. We absolutely need all that communication.
Senator Ron Johnson, Republican from Wisconsin. Senator, thanks for joining us. Enjoy tonight's final night of the RNC.
Stay well.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Hi, I'm Donna, and I love taking Balance of Nature. It makes me feel sparkly every single day. It's just an amazing product.
I'm Rick. I'm in the best shape of my life. I play a lot of golf. I work out and ride my bike. I'm 63 and I can still almost hit a golf ball 300 yards. I mean, when I'm in the gym, I can do 90-pound dumbbells. That's what I did when I was young. As long as I'm living, I'll keep taking my Balance of Nature.
Time's ticking on your summer savings. Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Don't miss out. This week's your last chance to claim this offer. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code Chicago.
Did you hear Hulkamania is going to meet Trumpmania tonight?
Love it. Here's me and Hulk Hogan. He's going through a divorce. When I worked at the other station.
Right. Did you make out with Hulk Hogan too?
No, I didn't make out with him, but he was very upset about his pending divorce. And I was doing traffic, up the dial, and he sat in my traffic booth.
Oh, he's very upset about it.
I'm not done talking.
He's very upset about his divorce.
Yes, but I was walking him through it, and we talked for 2 hours, and then we took this picture together where we flexed.
Yeah. Nice guns.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan too.
Yeah.
Do you reflect on that reality show and some other events throughout the course of his?
And crazy marriages sometimes end badly.
Well, you would know.
Okay, thanks.
Well, I mean, this is the voice
Trump,
of experience.
I hope Melania Trump is going to speak tonight. I haven't heard for her.
Or at least
Barron, I want Barron to be there. Ivanka, where's the rest?
Yeah,
of
Barron
the
runs
group?
the whole thing. I know
Yeah.
people don't understand this, but he's been running the whole thing for 8 years, since the time he was 10 years old. This is all orchestrated by Barron Trump. That's my conspiracy theory.
He's 6'10". Wow.
Yeah, well, he should have a basketball in his hand, not a golf club. Choosing where to send your kids to school, one of the most important decisions you make as parents. Even as the school year has come to an end, you might be thinking about where to send your kids to school in the fall. You need to know that private school might be an option for you and your family, thanks to our friends at halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you'll find many different private schools from around Chicagoland offering a full year of tuition for half of the normal price. And you can take advantage of this opportunity. Simple. Find a private school near you, purchase the voucher, the tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school this fall. Halfpriceschools.com has schools located across Chicagoland, including Christian Liberty in Arlington Heights, St. Peter's Lutheran in Schaumburg, Ravenswood Christian in Chicago, St. Andrew's Lutheran in Park Ridge, and many more. So don't delay. Next school year will be here before you know it. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. Don't wait. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
When you're in chronic pain, you're miserable to be around, and so are the people who have to watch you suffer. So stop it. Do something about it. Now's the time to be proactive and take care of yourself. And there's another solution other than surgery or drugs. Call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics, they have a cutting-edge treatment that revitalizes your joints with your body's own healing process. So if you have arthritis or if you're in pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, back due to an injury, you need to call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation and get your life and mobility back. You know, I've been to one of their clinics. I met a few of their customers. They were smiling from ear to ear, so happy to have their mobility back, pain-free, without surgery. They have locations all across the Chicagoland area, including new locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. Call for a free consultation, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955, 312-809-5955.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is Medi-Share. And maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for health care can save many families up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. See what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE, 844-41-BIBLE.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, our friends the Donleys, who have a show here on AM 560, they handed
saw
out
that.
these Trump. How would you describe this?
Like the faux ear bandage, right?
Yeah.
From 2024 with the flag.
And it says on the back, July 13th, 2024, quote, "We all dodged the bullet."
Indeed.
DonleyAuctions.com. So
All right,
thank
those
you.
those are going to be popping up at the convention, I'm sure, tonight.
Yep, 1,500 are on their way. So, all right, thanks so much for making us part of your morning, part of your lives. Thanks to Justin Kosick and Quinn McCarthy. Back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Don't forget, live coverage of the last night of the RNC begins at 7 p.m. right here on AM 560 The Answer. Now into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Highland Park survivors and families are suing the Illinois State Police. CPD searching for a 3-year-old boy believed to have been abducted. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.
Will President Biden stop running for re-election? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. As he now recovers at home in Delaware from COVID, concerns about the president's mental fitness keep swirling around him. Democratic Senator John Hickenlooper just told Reuters there are growing indications that dropping out of the race would be good for the U.S., saying the president will put America first in his decision, and he's working toward that.
ABC News is reporting Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer told President Biden it would be best if he bowed out of the race. California Congressman and Senate candidate Adam Schiff this week became one of the most high-profile Democrats